Hi there, Assassins, and welcome to episode 28 of Rally the Creed Live. We are an Assassin's Creed community podcast focusing on the content creators within the community, news coverage, and everything else relating to the franchise. So a massive thank you to everyone who's been supporting the show. We've had so many interesting guests and conversations on the series so far. Reminder, guys, don't forget to subscribe. 84% of our listeners on YouTube aren't subscribed to us yet. It really helps us out as we're trying to grow the channel this year. So tonight I'm joined by my co-host, James Davis, aka Top Chef 1288. Video content creation team leader. Welcome, James.
Hey.
Good to have you back, mate. And we're also joined by a multi-talented creator who's been carving out a unique space at the intersection of gaming, cosplay, streaming, and community building. So Hijabi, who is a long-time cosplayer and Twitch affiliate streamer with over a decade of experience bringing characters to life, entertaining audiences around the world. She's very passionate and she brings the community together with unique flair, positive attitude, and an inclusive voice. So beyond her own content, Dani has collaborated with many brands and companies, including Ubisoft, where she's taken part and produced content and cosplay projects. They amplify the community and they spotlight diverse voices within the community. So many interesting things there that we're going to get into tonight. Thrilled to have you on the show, Dani. So welcome to Rally the Creed. And how are you? Been a while.
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you guys?
Really good, really good. We've been excited for this one, you know. We've tried to run this one 2 or 3 times, but you're so busy. It's been great to get this one sorted. So I really wanted to get into a lot. Obviously, we're going to get into your story and all things related to Hijabi Who, but after all that, we're going to get into the craziness that's going on at Ubisoft, the ongoing turmoil. The recent Assassin's Creed Black Flag merchandise leaked, which has been officially recognized by Ubisoft. Absolute madness going on there. Yep. We're going to be discussing Ubisoft Bordeaux, and they're being stripped of their creative freedom. They're now becoming a tech support studio, and what are the implications of that? And we're going to be pitching an Assassin's Creed Odyssey sequel. So lots to get into, but before we get into that, Dani, could you tell us how you started Hijabi Who and where it all began for you?
Flipping heck. I'll paint a very basic picture. I was in sixth form, which is kind of like the equivalent to like college. So I just graduated high school, if that makes sense. And I'd always been obsessed with things like art, you know, creating my own clothes, but I never really associated the two with the geek side of me, which was obviously the games and the books that I read and the films that I watched all the time. And then one day a friend of mine was on a free period with me and was sewing something that it was a costume piece. And I was like, what's going on here? And she basically invited me along with her. And since then, I just never looked back. It was my first convention of many. And Hijabi Who just kind of evolved from there. It used to be Hijabi Hooligan. I rebranded it a couple of years ago, and I literally just did what you said. I combined everything that I love into just one big bundle and just started experimenting with all the different things that I enjoy. So gaming, like I said, fashion, making costumes, attending events, all of it. And it just kind of grew.
You are literally like an all-rounder. Like there isn't like a word that describes you really. Like
ADHD, my friend.
More than the cosplayer, more than the streamer, like more than the creator, like you are a bit of everything. So this is really cool to have you on because there's so many elements of this we can get into tonight. And I'm glad you mentioned Hijabi Who and the original name, because I remember in probably about 8 years ago, I remember you as Hijabi Hooligan.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's when everyone started to catch on about that's when some of my Assassin's Creed stuff kind of blew up a little bit, and when people started to like find out that I existed, kind of thing. Because I'm from a very small city as well, so I'm quite like a small like creator. I'm not particularly big on any platform, so but yeah, that was back in the hooligan days before the rebrand.
In the hooligan days.
You said there's not a word to describe it, but I think there is. It sounds like you're a Swiss Army knife of content
You're
creation.
the second person to use that analogy. I like it.
Great.
There's so much going on. I think that's fantastic. So, obviously, you've been doing cosplay for quite some time now.
Yes.
Has there been any challenges with that and project costs and stuff that I imagine it's an expensive game to be involved in?
Yeah. I mean, there's always challenges, from motivating yourself to do something to the self-doubt that comes along the way. And even at the end, when you finish it all, you still doubt, is it as good as I wanted it to be? Is it as good as the reference material, you know? And then there's obviously, like you said, the financial challenge of it. Can I afford this? Or finding, the perfect fabric or the perfect material that you want to use, and knowing that is like a good chunk of your budget as is on that one part. It's like, can I, is this viable? I had a lot of issues with this one, actually, with Roshan, like that, where I started it out and I had a very clear path of like, this is exactly how it's going to be. And then very quickly down the line found out that nothing that I'd planned for was going the way I'd planned for it to go. And I had to just keep changing things and fixing things, and eventually had to rebuild the entire thing from scratch. So these things happen, but you learn from it,
How do you find staying respectful to religion and the source material through the cosplay? How does that look for you? How does that play into all of this?
I would say it depends on what I'm choosing to cosplay.
Okay.
There's obviously certain factors that you have to consider that maybe some people don't. Everyone, I think, looks at it and assumes the main thing you look for is modesty, which fair enough, because obviously I'm fully covered. So the things I choose to cosplay tend to be the same. If they're not, then it's finding ways to cover it without losing the essence of that character, or I guess losing the recognizability of the character. Because ultimately, obviously, like, as much as I love to do the characters that I love, there is a part of me that as a content creator, trying to kind of make it in the business, you have to stay relevant to an extent. So obviously it's, how can I make this character still obviously be that character, but fit my needs? But then the other thing as well is, I sometimes have to be a bit selective with the material I cosplay from, in terms of the kind of message it delivers, or the kind of I don't want to use the word politics, but the politics around that particular topic, for example. It all fits in, and everyone has their own ideals and has their own kind of morality and stuff like that. But for me, there's also the religious side of it, where even if I, for example, liked a particular piece of media, but that piece of media at the moment wasn't necessarily the best to kind of like represent, then I'd have to make that decision of, do I want to do it for me, or do I want to keep it safe and stay away from it?
Yeah, that's fair.
That was a really good question, James. And I wanted to ask you as well, Danny, because a lot of cosplayers wear wigs and dye their hair and things. Obviously, this is a little bit trickier wearing a hijab, but I have noticed that you have different coloured hijabs. So that's a clever way of getting around that.
Yeah, it's something I've seen a lot more online as well nowadays, which is really fun. I've never styled a wig, so I'm not going to sit here and say it's easier or harder, because I don't know. But from what I've seen online, wig styling looks like it would be my personal hell. So I'm actually kind of grateful I don't have to go through that. At the same time, though, you have to remember how you do the hijab, because you can't keep it the way it is. You have to take all the pins and things out and redo it each time.
Oh, wow.
Which takes more time. But I mean, it's fun. It's nice to, I enjoy a challenge, so I like figuring it out.
Oh, that's fantastic. And before we mention the name change, was there any particular reason you changed the name, or was it just to have like less of like connotations of like, hooligan? It throws up all sorts of connotations, and then people meet you in real life, and obviously you're not a hooligan.
Yeah, I mean, depends who knows me or how you know me, I suppose.
I was going to say, someone in chat said that you still are a hooligan. So
probably, fair enough. They probably know me quite well then. No. It was mostly that I didn't know the connotations. I had no idea. Like, I was quite ignorant to it. And then, a few years ago, sat down with someone and they kind of explained it all to me, and I was quite shocked about it. So I just decided to go with a change. But I didn't want to stray away from the main name, because I really like it. So I kind of just shortened it to.
Really cool. And then we also wanted to get into your streaming as well, because obviously there's the different elements to your creations. And I mentioned before the stream that you do a lot of streams at night. So it's like the run into the early hours of the morning here in the UK. So what sort of games do you play?
I play a bit of everything. I think I'm most known for kind of FPS games. So I play a lot of like Apex Legends and kind of games like that. But Assassin's Creed's probably the second biggest one that I'm known for, because it's kind of split evenly between the two. Yeah, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't really have a specific genre that I'd say I play. I just play a bit of everything, whatever I'm interested in at the time.
That's fab. And even though I didn't have headphones, so I couldn't watch properly, I was going to bed and I was like, oh, cool, like Danny's going live. But you had a big community that looked really welcoming and supportive. I could see them in the chat. And this is at like 12:30. So this is really cool to see that you've got all these people around you. And do you find that you've got a big support network?
Yes, definitely. I'm very, very grateful for all of them. We've built a really, really nice community over on Twitch. They're all super, like whenever someone comes in and they're new and they say hello, I'm always, the first thing I say to them is, hi, let's get to know each other. We've got a great community here, because everyone in my chat is genuinely so loving and welcoming. And you know, I see them talking to each other even without me. Like I'm just sat here playing my game and they'll be chatting to each other and like having conversations between them. It's really nice to see.
I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah, it is. It's sweet.
That's a great thing, because I go live on TikTok a fair bit, and it's really nice that they're coming to watch you, and you probably feel the same, that they're coming to watch you, but in actual fact, they all talk to each other and they all interact with each other at their own thing about different things. Yeah. And I suppose that's we're playing video games for us. And then we're providing this safe space for everyone else to chat and talk. Yes. And I think that's a really great thing. And you can see that you're really approachable. When I reached out to you on LinkedIn, you were so approachable to talk to, that I've been looking forward to this episode since originally speaking to you, because I just wanted to get to know you a bit better and have this chat with you and stuff. So it's really good that you've got that sort of community around you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, it helps ground you as well. It's kind of like, you know, you build in a weird way kind of like relationships with the people that you see constantly, and the people who, do you know what I mean, that they're always there. Like I know a lot of them by name, and they know me by name, and it's really nice to like have just people around you that you can talk to as well. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just someone behind a screen. We have problems, we get, you know, stressed, and sometimes we just need someone to talk to. And it's nice to have, you know, those familiar kind of names. I can't say faces because I don't see them, but the familiar people that are sat with you through whatever it is that you've got going on. It's really comforting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And like what James said, I've been really looking forward to this one as well, getting to know you a bit better, because every time we see each other at events, we are like passing ships.
Whoosh,
so it's happened twice now. There was the first time in 2023 at the Insomnia I-71. Yes. This was the Ubisoft Cosplay competition. You were in Roshan robes. And
oh God, that was my old version of Roshan as well, before I made the new one.
Yeah, I only ever see you for like a minute at a time. And then there was the one we also met in London at the Assassin's Creed Shadows event, which was really cool. It was like a community launch event. So that was nice as well. But again, I think I was on my way to get pizza, and then you were coming in. So it was like, we get past each other.
Yeah, because I was fasting,
Yeah, because Domino's sponsored the event, and like we were all heading to get pizza, and I think you joined at that point. And you had a really cool like leather jacket on. And I was like, I recognize her. But first time I'd ever seen you not in costume.
Who is that small northern girl?
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool to get down and talk to you properly. And I'm glad you mentioned the north as well. I wanted to know whereabouts you're based, because you said a small city. So I was curious where that is in the UK.
So without doxing myself, I'm towards the northeast.
Cool, yeah.
So I'm one of the smaller cities up in the northeast of England.
Fab, lovely. I'm from Carlisle, which is up in the northwest. So other side of, but based now in Chester. And James, you're Warwickshire?
Way down south. I'm down south.
Yeah. Warwickshire.
Miles away from everybody.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah, that's quite a trek for me.
Yeah, we get people on this show from all over the world, so it's nice when it's more local, because it's like, oh, that's not that far. That's cool, yeah. It's drivable. It's drivable.
It is.
And like we say, with these events, like, we do run into each other every now and then, but I wanted to get into your relationship with Ubisoft and how you first started, like, working with Ubisoft and having the opportunity to sort of work alongside them with projects and have that relationship, really. So yeah, how did that all begin, really?
Do you know what? It was Insomnia. Bear with me. I-70, I want to say.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I think it was I-70. So up until that point, I'd obviously been a massive fan. I'd done a bunch of Assassin's cosplay, but never actually done it like officially with Ubisoft. And then during I-70, there were a couple of people from Ubisoft that were there, and they were setting up kind of like meetings and stuff. And so I dropped them, I guess, an email and just said, like, can I schedule a meeting and kind of have a chat with you? And I think I was in the old version of Roshan, which was cool. And I just kind of sat down with them and I was like, listen, like, I'm making content for you anyway. Like, do you want to work together, kind of thing? Join, not necessarily names, but like, put I guess Ubisoft behind my name a little bit. And I'll just keep making my content for you. And they were really, really cool about it. They were happy about it. They were very much on board. A couple of them had even said that they'd seen like a few bits and pieces that I'd done over the years online, which is really, really nice to hear. And I've just kind of been working with them since.
That's great.
So you two literally working with Ubisoft are living my ultimate goal right now. That I can't imagine how good it feels to one, hear that they've seen your stuff over the years. That must be unimaginable, because we all do this and we're all like, oh, they might not see it, they might not know what we're doing. And I guess to hear actually all of your hard work has paid off and it's culminated into this one moment, that's fantastic to see.
Yeah.
That's really good point.
It's mind-blowing, honestly.
It is cool to see. And I mentioned before the Guildford event where we were at the Assassin's Creed Shadows pre-launch event, and that was the one with the dominoes. And I was wondering, how did you get on with the interactions and the events that were planned there? Because I was with Billy, BPR Gaming, and I think you were sat a little bit further down. So this guys, to give you an idea, this was like, we did the Japanese ink. I did the assassin insignia, and we were doing like calligraphy in like the traditional Japanese ink style. So that was really cool. And we did a few other things as well. Like we all came away with a bonsai tree and stuff. Yeah, I was wondering, like, I remember you arriving and you had a big group of friends there already. So yeah, I was wondering if you could tell us about that event, because a lot of people there and we both saw it from different perspectives.
Yeah. Do you know what? For me, it was very much like Little Fish, Big Pond, because I'd never really been to like gaming events like that before. Like I said, I'm genuinely a small creator, like not just in stature, but actually in numbers as well. That was a big one for me. Obviously, I trekked it all the way down to London from here, which, to put it into perspective, I think it took me 5 hours to get there.
Oh, wow.
I want to say. Yeah. So they were really kind, and I'm assuming the same for you, but they sorted us out with accommodation for like a day, whether it was the day before or the day after. For me, it was the day after, so obviously I wouldn't have to trek it and thingy it on the same day when I'm fasting. But it was nice to go there, and there were a couple of people that I knew already. Most of them I've met through just, again, events like the conventions, Insomnia and MCM and things like that. And a couple of them I've known through the Apex scene as well. Ironically, they're kind of involved in both. So it was really nice to have a couple of people there that I knew, that I recognized, and who knew me as well. But no, it was fun. It was fun. I remember having to like keep your wrist still when you're doing the calligraphy and stuff like that. And And they put together, which is really sweet, a care package, because there was me and there was one other person, Sal, who was fasting as well. They put together little care packages for us and kept them aside. And then at the end, they gave us them, and they had all these like little Japanese snacks and things in them. They had like pocky, and they had crisps, and they had things like that. And they would just like have this for later when you can't eat. It was really nice.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice.
Yeah,
they are great. At the Ubisoft UK, in particular, the ones that we've met, they've all been so lovely and accommodating. I'm thinking like Sylvia and Stefan and everyone at the UK office. They're really great people and they really care about the community. So that's a really nice story. They really look after you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So we also wanted to get into your family network and the family support that you've had. You mentioned that you've got a lot of friends and people in the chat who are really supportive of you. But yeah, I wanted to know sort of like how your family feel about the cosplaying, streaming. Do they understand it?
They think I'm insane. Like, I swear, not a day goes by when one of them looks in on me while I'm like hunched over in my pajamas, like obsessively painting something, crafting, sewing, whatever it may be, and they just kind of look at me and they're like, okay, and they don't even question it anymore. They've gotten used to it now. But no, they are supportive. Obviously, they know that this is something that makes me happy, and it's brought me this community, and it's brought me a lot of friends and people I care about. So they're supportive, and they just kind of let me crack on with it, really.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, every now and then, something will happen and we'll get like a massive package in the mail, for example. It'll be something stupid. Like, I've got 2 massive boxes that are probably about 6 foot tall, stacked on top of each other, of beanbag stuffing.
Wow.
Don't question it, but it was sent to me, and it's because I don't have space for it at the moment. It's just in the hallway. That got a bit of a reaction out of them. They were like, "What is going on here?" I'm just like, guys, it's fine. It's fine.
That's funny. And yeah, that's cool. I guess I get it as well. Like, my parents don't always understand it completely.
Yeah.
Quite a few of our guests have said that, but they sort of like respect like the travel aspect of it and the opportunities that come with it. And even like the numbers, like that's never really a big thing for me. But when they're like, oh wow, you've got like, I don't know, 70,000 across the board. Like, to me, that's cool. But like, for like some people, like on the outside, it's like looking in, that's like a big thing. Like, they sort of get that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like anything really, isn't it? When they see you putting in so much hard work and like dedication into something, they kind of have to respect it. They're like, okay, they enjoy what they do and they're really working at it. So it surely has to be a good thing.
My parents both play video games. They have while I was growing up. They're one of the reasons I play video games now. My mom doesn't even watch my videos on TikTok. She just likes, shares them, favorites them. She doesn't even watch them. So that's at least a guaranteed 1 like and 1 share and 1 favorite on every video. My dad, if I know that my dad's liked it, I know that he's at least attempted to watch it. But they're very supportive.
Good.
They're always like, oh, so what are you doing today? When's the podcast on? When's this going on? So that's really good that everyone else has got this like cool family, because it helps get you through the low moments, I guess.
It does, yeah, it does.
But I wanted to ask about, you mentioned in the pre-show, you mentioned a story about Lucozade on a laptop. I'm just wondering if you could elaborate on this a little bit for us.
Right. I want to preface this by saying the laptop didn't survive.
Okay.
It had this laptop, this beautiful, beautiful laptop that I bought with my student money, that I was so excited about having because I could play Assassin's Creed on it, because I started playing originally on a laptop, and I kind of like continued that up until I got my first Xbox when I was in uni. Anyway, so as I said before, I always have, my snacks and things like somewhere within the vicinity of whatever, computer kind of setup I've got. I used to sit on my bed with my legs like outstretched in front of me, right? The laptop was on like a little notebook thing on my lap. And I decided in my infinite wisdom to balance the Lucozade on that same notebook. Forgot it was there. Moved, there you go. Moved my leg. The Lucozade went all over the laptop and the laptop crashed. And I was in the middle. Yeah, I was in the middle.
How much Lucozade are we talking? Are we talking like a can, like a full bottle of it?
Oh no, like a full 500ml bottle.
Oh.
That's rough. Lucozade Sport, Lucozade Original, what we're talking here?
I don't think it really matters.
It was the pink lemonade one, the sugar-free one.
Oh, okay.
Like the fizzy one?
Even being sugar-free didn't help it.
No, because it was fizzy, so it was sticky.
Yeah.
And the laptop never survived it.
We've got 2 messages that say RIP Danny's laptop. And here we go. Trep says, at least now she has a good PC setup. So wondering what sort of PC setup do you have, Danny?
Do you know what? It's not actually incredible, but it's a massive upgrade on what I have. I have what do I have? I have a Ryzen 7
nice.
CPU. I've got the 2060 Super, which I actually got for free, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
I also have 64 terabytes of gigabytes, of storage, also for free. So a friend of mine passed their old one onto me, which is cool. I've got my dual monitor set up. I'm quite happy. I'm
really
not
good.
gonna lie. Yeah, it works for what I need.
Worked out in the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic!
It took several years of no laptop.
I've
never bought one since, you know.
Oh, really?
I never replaced that laptop. No, I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself with it, so I lived without one for a couple of years, and then invested in a prefurbished PC, and yeah.
Should have just dried it out and sent it back to wherever you got it from. I tried to turn it on, but it just wasn't working. What's going on?
And then they lift the keyboard, and there's just goo everywhere.
That's tragic.
Oh, well.
And Danny, before we mentioned obviously the Roshan costume, but I was wondering what other Assassin's Creed costumes have you created over the years?
Oh, I've done a couple of different versions of Ezio's, mainly as like AC2 and Brotherhood outfits. I did Maria from the movie, Roshan. I started working on, do you remember the Dr. Daniels skins from Syndicate? The like steampunk ones?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
So I started working on that version for Eevee, but I just haven't finished it yet.
Oh, so that's a work in progress then?
Yes. I'm hopeful I might actually come back to it this year.
Yeah.
It was one of those where it was going really well, and then I hit a bit of a standstill with it, and then just kind of left it and never went back to it, but I'm going to try.
Oh,
I wonder if it's like a Syndicate anniversary you could tie it in with. I don't know how many years.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe.
So are you going Eevees or Jacob's?
Eevees.
Yeah, I actually quite like that outfit as well.
Yeah,
it's
a
like
good
the
one.
Green and
grey stripy one.
Yeah.
I really like it. I really like it.
With the goggles and stuff, that's really good.
Yes.
And you mentioned the different versions of Ezio. Are we thinking like young Ezio and then like a Revelations Ezio, or somewhere in the middle with Brotherhood, or
no? So I did something completely different. Honestly, technically my first ever cosplay was Ezio, but obviously this is when I was like 17 and very, very lacking on skill. And then I just did like a couple of different versions that were more my style. So back then I changed a lot of things and like made them a bit more feminine and stuff like that. And then I tried a whole different version with a corset, which I thought was really cool at the time. Not so much now. I just did a bunch of different versions, like inspired by, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The outfits from the games. Yeah.
Femzio Femditore.
Femzio Femditore is incredible. I'm stealing that.
That's the title. Me and James don't really speak to each other throughout the week because we like to save our stories for here on the podcast to get our live reactions and everything. So, James, you've probably had a more interesting week than me. You've been down to London.
I wouldn't say interesting, but
more than what I did.
Yeah, we went to London yesterday for my youngest daughter's belated birthday present.
Oh, happy belated birthday to her.
We went to the Natural History Museum because she loves dinosaurs. So it was really good. We went there. We had a great time. But Nicola, my partner, doesn't like the underground. So we walked everywhere in London yesterday.
Oof.
Wow.
So we walked 19.2 kilometers, which is about 11.9 miles.
Oh, wow.
All day yesterday. Wow. So my 7-year-old daughter was very tired yesterday coming home on the train and literally fell asleep.
Oh.
But we walked everywhere, and there was protests going on and stuff, and I got loads of videos that I need to sort out and post, because I was like, oh, I can climb that. Oh, I can climb that. All this, and it was great fun. Yeah, like Nicola said, her legs are hurting. I woke up this morning feeling absolutely fine. Went to walk down my stairs this morning, and I was like, oh my God, my legs. Oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. It hurts now.
Oh my God.
It's a long way to go. And I saw some pictures as well. You did Buckingham Palace, you did the museum.
Yeah,
so you did loads.
We literally walked from Marylebone station to the Natural History Museum. That's 2 miles.
Yeah.
Then we walked from there to Buckingham Palace. We went via the Wellington Monument and all that. So that was another 2 miles. And then we went to somewhere else, and then we went to Big Ben and Houses of Parliament, then to the London Eye. Then it was another 2.5 miles from there back to where we were going. Yeah, Nicola said we'd done the stuff for my daughter, and then I was like, right, we've done that. We're here now, and I'm going to do some AC stuff now. So you're all going to have to walk with me. So yeah, we walked 11 miles yesterday, which was tough work. And my daughter, to her credit, did not complain once. Like her legs, she said her legs were fine this morning. No complaining about pain or anything, but you could clearly see that she was very, very tired, and she was like spaced out and stuff, which was good. She had a really nice day, so that was something pretty good. So
good.
And you did send me that video of the robot dinosaur. That looked great. Yeah.
So in the Natural History Museum, they have like an entire dinosaur section that is a one-way system to, like, it corrals you to which way you're going, and there's a section where it's a full life-size robotic T-Rex that just like moves around and roars and stuff. Yeah, my daughter absolutely loved it. She just watched it. Could have stood there for ages and watched it. It was brilliant. It was really good fun.
That's great. That's awesome.
And so cute.
James, as well, you've been busy with YouTube as well this week.
I've been very busy with YouTube. Not just since the beginning of the year. I set myself some YouTube goals. I would post 20 videos by the end of the year. I would have 100 subscribers by the end of the year. As of today, we have 25 subscribers, and we're just recording video 6. So this is, so we're moving in the right direction. Yeah. So let's get there.
That target's within reach, quarter of the way there now.
Absolutely. We're only 1 month into the year as well.
Yeah, I thought 100 subscribers was like a wild number to even suggest, but
you got this.
Being a quarter of the way through already is fantastic. So
that's fantastic.
So Cole, do you want to tell us about your week this week?
It's not been good, guys. Like, since Monday, where I was in work, I could feel myself getting ill. And I was like, oh no, I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday. Please don't be ill. I woke up Tuesday. I was dying. I was so ill. And we're talking like man flu, sniffles, can't breathe, cold, like head cold, headache. Like I had like the full whack of symptoms, like borderline like COVID as well. Like, like sore throat as well. Everything tasted funny. So I was like, oh no, I've got COVID. My wife's pregnant. I've got a little boy. Like I was like, I'm gonna have to avoid everyone. But we took my little boy to nursery, and then I was like, oh, it's okay, I can rest today. But no, I got dragged over to Warrington, which is sort of near Manchester, and I had to empty a garage while feeling terrible. And I got put to work on the house job, so no recovery that day. And then the Wednesday, I was even worse. I was like dying off again. That day I was up in the loft, boarding the loft again, house job. So she makes use of me. Sadly, on my days off, there's no rest for the wicked. So I was just up and down ladders, moving heavy stuff, just trying to hydrate all the time, but it wasn't good. And then I did go into work on Thursday, did my job, like the main part of my job, and then I came home sick. So I left with 3 hours to go, and I was so ill. I couldn't breathe. I was like all disgusting and like wet. It was horrible. I just wanted to sleep. And what I did to cure myself, I left the building. I went for a bit of a walk, and I went to Morrison's and bought some donuts, and then I had the donuts and felt a bit better after that. And then when I got back, my little boy had to get up from his nap. So then I was straight into parenting, and he wanted me to play loads of games with him, and I was just so run down and tired. I had a 2-hour nap, woke up, and I was like, please let me feel better. And I didn't feel any better. The 2 hours sleep hadn't really helped. So yeah, it was really rough, and I can still feel it now. I still don't feel 100%. Like I was looking at it on like Thursday, like please have a voice for Sunday, because I had no voice at all. I sounded awful. No. I mean, James, I was sending you voice notes, and I didn't sound like myself at all, did I?
It sounded like you'd put a voice modifier on, and you were doing some deep husky voice. It was weird.
So bad. It was really tragic. Yeah, because I was still trying to get stuff done, and I just had no energy at all. I was like fully drained. And yeah, the other thing is as well, guys, you'll have noticed that I'm in a new office, and this is because baby's coming in 5 weeks. So my office is now being turned into bedroom for baby. So my wife has kindly gifted her office space under the stairs. It's basically the equivalent of like a shoe cupboard. It's very small. But this was always her office space, and she's given it to me, which is really kind, because I would have had nowhere. But I've tried to make it homely with a few Assassin's Creed things. It's a bit of a mess at the minute, but it's coming together. I've got a few nice Assassin's Creed bits lying around, and trying to make it a bit, more homely. Like little pictures of my boy and me, and just trying to get it nice. And it's difficult. I had to bring everything down, re-plug in the computer, and I was feeling horrible as well, so it had to be done. And I'm just glad I have got a space for when baby's here, and I haven't got nowhere, because I'd be recording podcasts in the shed. Do you know what I mean? That's just tragic. Or outside. So, but yeah, very nice of my wife to give me a space. And like I say, I've not been myself this week, guys, and I got a text today saying, Carl, what have you been doing? And I was like, what? And my wife was like, you've put the cat slurps, which is like I don't know what you call it. It's like this yogurt for cats. I'd put it in my little boy's food cupboard. So it's like I'm not thinking straight. I'm not myself this week. But I've been struggling through and somehow made it to the end. And I don't feel too bad now, honestly. Like I know that there are people out there with like real illnesses and stuff, but I probably sound super dramatic. But yeah, I made it out the other side. So that's the bulk of it. And I guess in terms of like an interesting story for the week, I tried an ear candle for the first time. Have you guys familiar with this? Do you know what they are?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I can see the picture you've put on the plan, and I've never seen this done before.
Yeah.
It's where you shove the candle in and you light it, and it's supposed to get the wax out, right?
Yeah. So I'm always getting accused of not listening properly, and it'd be one of them where, I told you yesterday you weren't listening, and Well, this comes up a lot in our house, right? So my wife was like, try an ear candle. So yeah, I'm lying there for 10 minutes with basically a candle in my ear. I'm just lying there thinking, wow, I'm like a birthday cake for a 1-year-old right now. Like, just chilling there. And anyway, I lie there for 10 minutes watching Love Island, and it burns down about halfway. And my wife is like, don't get the wax on the sofa, go put it in the sink. So I take it out my ear. It doesn't feel any different at all. I don't feel like I can hear any better at all. I was like, it's supposed to like suck up any of this stuff in your ears and improve your hearing, but I can't say it's worked truthfully. Anyhow, I went to the sink and I like started tapping the ash into the sink, and it wasn't really going out. In fact, because I was holding it down, the flame was like traveling up the candle. And I was like, right, I'm going to use the water on this. And we've got like a little shower head hose attached to our sink. So I put the little shower head on and it comes out full pelt. And this flame, rather than go out straight away, went massive and like blew up the candle to like 3/4 of the candle length, and it was close to touching my fingertips. I nearly dropped it. I'm there holding it as this like whoosh happens, and I screamed in the kitchen, and my wife's like, "What are you doing, being an idiot?" But no one else saw it. But I swear to God, rather than the flame go out straight away, it like whooshed towards me like it was attacking me. So this like simple thing became like super dramatic, and it could only happen to me. So careful out there, guys. Careful with these bloody ear candles. They're not safe. But other than that,
my question is, why didn't you just blow out the candle before you took it to the sink?
Yeah, like a normal person, right?
That is a good point. This was a big flame. And she said, "Don't get ash on the sofa." So I was worried that ash would like smear like a black tar or something all over the sofa, and then I would have been dead. So. But yeah, be safe out there, guys. Be safe, because these things exist. People are using them probably more effectively than me, but you got to be careful. You can see the picture. That's a big flame going on right there.
Yeah, that's huge.
But that was my week. Not a lot. Basically, just lots of lemsip, recovering, lots of blowing my nose, sadly. So horrible. Wishing you all good health. How was your week, Danny?
Probably not as bad as yours, but I honestly haven't had the best week either.
No?
No, I've been having a lot of car issues, and by that I mean my car is dead, so I needed a new one. Yeah, I broke down twice.
Oh God, not good.
Yeah, in the space of 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
And they both took a 9-hour recovery. So it was rough. It was rough. So I pretty much spent all week not working, so I can't get to work. And just every day looking for cars. My friends are absolutely sick and tired of hearing me complain about this, bless them. They've had to deal with it all week. Well, they've had to deal with it for 2 weeks now, but it was this week that it got like quite urgent that I needed one. I worked Thursday. And then I don't even remember what I did Friday. I'm pretty sure I spent most of it recovering from the fact that I've not slept all week.
That is rough.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Obviously, I streamed because I do Mondays, Wednesdays, and I do Saturdays as well. Yesterday was ridiculous, though. Yesterday, I swear, this whole week I've just had like the worst luck. You know, when it's like you said with the flame, like things that could only happen to you. It's that kind of vibe. Like, it is things that can only happen to me. And it was just one thing after the next. Like on Thursday, for example, I borrowed a car, went to go open the car door, as you normally do. Somehow it caught on my nail and tore the whole thing off.
Oh.
But then it didn't stop there. It then decided out of nowhere to start. It literally I don't even know how to explain it, but this was in the car. So I'm driving, and I'm a right-handed driver, and it's on my right hand, and I'm like, what do I do now? So I kind of just did that and like kept going.
So you're like holding the wheels like
Got
Spider-Man,
to work.
right?
It looked like something out of a horror film. Then had to get rid of all that. My colleagues are looking at me like, what on earth have you done? In the process, at some point, I rolled my foot, so I ended up limping the whole day. It was just a horrible day.
Danny, I'm seeing you as like a zombie, like limping, bleeding, like I'd be like 28 days.
I looked like a zombie because I'd not slept the night before. I had a rough night as well, so I probably did look like a zombie that day. But yeah, it was just so Friday I spent it all in bed, basically. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I did a little bit of editing in the night, and then that was about it. And then worked again on Saturday. That in itself was chaos, but then afterwards as well, I had to, you know, when you have to do a criminal check, like a DBS check for certain jobs.
Yeah.
So I work in healthcare, so I have to do that. So I had to apply for it because it's been some time since I had to do my last one. And I was supposed to take my documents to the post office to get them verified, as you do, normal thing. So I speed to the post office where I know I can get them done. I get there 1 minute after it closes.
That is rough.
Yeah, 1 minute after, and I've paid for parking as well. And I was just like, you know what, I can't get any worse. The lady at the thing is giving me sass as well, and I'm just like, I can't be dealing with this. So I found another one that was supposed to do them. Right, happy with that. It said it closed within sort of half an hour of when I was at the other one. So I sped to that one. Get to that one, get to the front of the queue, only for the lady to turn around and say, sorry, unless you brought photocopies, we can't do it for you.
As if.
So I was like, right, but it specifically says on your website, do not bring photocopies, only the originals. I was like, fine, whatever, I'll go home, I'll get those sorted. I fought with my printer. 3 hours later, I have my photocopies ready to go. I went back to the place, because it turns out the opening times are wrong. Got back to the place, only for the same lady to look at my stuff and go, oh, actually, no, sorry, we can't do this here.
That's wild. Why could she not have said that?
You couldn't have told me this 3 hours ago.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's wasted your whole day there, Danny. Your whole day's gone.
Literally, yeah. Right off the back of a rough shift as well, so that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my Saturday, and then I streamed in the night, and then today I've just been catching up on a few things. Managed to sort a new car, thankfully.
Nice.
So I've just been doing all the documentation for that, so it's been a boring day, just sat at my desk, typing away, getting emails sent over and things like that. So yeah, it's been a week.
Couple of questions to unpack from that. First of all, how is your finger? Is it okay? Are you okay?
My finger's fine now. Yeah, it's fine now. Like it's all good now. It is the one shorter nail out of like all the rest of them. But no, it's fine now. We are all good. Good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Second question, what's your new car? Roughly, you don't have to dox yourself, but like
it's fine. It's actually a Mercedes. It's a Yeah.
Very nice. I did good. Very good. Well, things are looking up there.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Before we continue, I forgot to mention Danny talking about cars. So I dropped the kids off on a Sunday about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Get home, sort everything out for the podcast and what have you. We were driving home. I was driving on this stretch of road. It's called the Fossway, and it goes from Leicester to Gloucester. It's like a massive stretch of road. It's like old Roman road. On this road, I've nearly crashed twice. I've had people pull out at me twice on this road. On the way home today, I had another car pull out from the side. So we're coming down 60 miles an hour. We're coming to like a T-junction sort of thing. I'm coming down. He just pulls out of nowhere.
Oh my God.
No indication. Halfway on like he's going to cut out in front of me. I had to slam the brakes on. Nicola's gone forward, put her arm out, hurt her wrist as well. I'm like, oh fuck! We've had trouble. We've had trouble too, but no. And it was like I couldn't believe this guy just like pulled out, and then in my wing mirror behind me, I can see that he popped his hazards on for like a split second to apologise, and then drove off. And I'm like. Yeah, because that helps. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
he knows
cheers.
he's wrong. Yeah, knows he's in the wrong. First of all, I hope Nikki's okay. I'm glad it wasn't more serious. Sounds like that is like a super dangerous bit of road then, if this has happened before, right?
So it's a long stretch of road, but there is islands and stuff in between on the road. But this particular point, it comes down a hill and then up like it dips, and you've got a T-junction crossing over the middle of it. A bit further back, they used to be the same bit further back, but they put traffic lights there. Whereas this bit, they won't put traffic lights because it's so small, and they've got like a caravan camp to the side of it, so they won't move the caravan camp. They won't do anything with it. So this guy pulls up to the line and just pulls out, no indication, no nothing, but pulled out so far that I had to like slam the brakes on for it, like, because I genuinely thought he was pulling out in front of us. That's how bad it was. Right.
I'm just reading your partner's put a comment here, James. Just added to pain in my body that was already there with chronic illness, so no biggie really. Yeah, you really didn't need that added to the equation.
Yeah, no,
that's
you really, yeah.
Well, drive safe out there, assassins. Everyone.
So you got to watch out for car doors because you'll lose fingernails. You got to watch out for candles that you put in your ears because of wax. And you need to be safe out there for idiot drivers who pull out at random people.
Really do.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next section of the day, guys. Where to start with this one? Because we normally go into a nice merchandise story, but this week we've got something that mixes news and merchandise. So I haven't discovered something interesting on Vinted this week, but someone else has. So normally we discuss things I've found on eBay and Vinted and discuss the prices, normally like Assassin's Creed statues, cards, things like that. But this week in the Assassin's Creed community, and in particular the Spanish community, fans of Assassin's Creed were searching up Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and they found a statue of Edward Kenway on a treasure chest, and behind him you can see the Black Flag logo. He's got his cutlass in his hand and a flintlock pistol in the other. He's sat down on these chests with a spilled out treasure chest with the coins scattered everywhere. So I saw this on Twitter going around, and people were like, could this be real? Could this be real? And they were all like speaking in Spanish about it. And I saw it and thought, wow, that's cool, but it looks 3D printed. To me, that looks very much like the 3D printing community and what they've been up to, because there are a lot of 3D printed Assassin's Creed statues out there that go over hundreds of pounds. And the interesting thing about this is that someone reached out to the seller on Vinted, and it was on the Spanish Vinted for €400, which is a lot of money. They reached out and asked for further pictures, and they sent a photo of the bottom, and it's the Assassin's Creed Black Flag logo at first. You can see on the insignia, on the very bottom bit of the Assassin logo, are the two little indents, and that is how you can tell the Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced logo, because this is an image we've seen before, and it's slightly more detailed as well than the original logo, but them little indents on the very bottom bar of the Assassin logo show that this is the insignia that they're going with. So now everyone's thinking, right, this is more likely to be realistic. But then they get further pictures, and this was like Ubisoft and a few of the other big Assassin's Creed Spain community members, and they got a photo of the very bottom below this insignia, and it says Pure Arts Entertainment. And Pure Arts, as we know, are the big merchandise company. They make Assassin's Creed statues ranging between like somewhere between like £50 and some of them up to about like £3,000. So like really high quality products. They're incredible. So at this point, everyone's like, right, this is a legitimate Assassin's Creed Black Flag leak. Normally, we wouldn't cover leaks here at the ones that came before, but what has happened now is Zephyrus from our team has gathered the pictures, he's tweeted at Assassin's Creed, and they've replied to it saying, oh shit, here we go again, which is the GTA meme, which is so strange because they've now indirectly acknowledged leaked products which basically signal that Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is real. So this is so strange from Ubisoft. What do you guys think about this? And Ubisoft replying, and what do you think about this?
I'll let Danny go first.
So I didn't know the full story. I saw, the first thing that I saw was actually, I think it was on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't actually remember if it was Pure Arts or the Ubisoft, one of the Ubisoft accounts, whether it was UK or the worldwide one. I actually don't remember, but I remember it coming up on my feed, and I saw it, and I thought the same thing. The first thing that I thought was, this looks incredible, but it looks like one of those 3D printed models that I've seen, loads of different versions of on everywhere. And I'm trying to see if I can find it now, actually, just to find out where it was that I saw it. But yeah, it was that. It was either Pure Arts or one of the Assassin's Creed accounts posting it, and I just thought, that's very interesting. Are they working together? Are they making this, is this an acknowledgement of this is where we're going to kind of take our product moving forward? Is this going to be something that replaces the original? Because Pure Arts are known, like you said, for their insanely detailed work. I've seen a couple of them in real life, and I've seen some of them go up to like the thousands in price. So yeah, it was really interesting, but I didn't actually know the full story about that. I didn't know that was a leak. So I'm even more confused now than I was before.
It's new territory, to be honest, Danny.
Yeah, it is.
With these leaks, Ubisoft are straight up no comment. Pure Arts would strike all the images with copyright. There's been none of that. They've let this slide. No images have been pulled, that to my knowledge. And it's so interesting. James, what do you think about this?
I don't know. Somewhat wild is happening at Ubisoft right now anyway, so I don't actually know potentially what is going on. I don't know Pure Arts well enough to know how they would stand on this. But if this is a leaked product, then this is very unfortunate. The fact that the Assassin's Creed official Twitter page has commented, "Oh shit, here we go again," knowing full well what this is going to create, is crazy. Because we know, we've spoken about it on this show repeatedly, constantly, that all we want is something from Ubisoft. Like, give us a date, give us something, give us a little bit of knowledge, anything. And we've had nothing. And this is the closest we've got to an actual, them acknowledging something to do with Resynced. I didn't see the comment that somebody, it looks like Facebook, that somebody had tagged a guy called Dan Pure Arts. And the comment is that I only work on all things purearts.com itself, which has nothing to do with collector edition, so I can't confirm nor deny. So I don't know. It seems weird.
I think that's because people are under the misconception that this will be like the Assassin's Creed Resynced collector's edition, but Ubisoft never work with Pure Arts for collector's edition of the game. They do their own products with Ubi Collectibles, which would be the collector's edition, and then normally there's cheaper versions or different variations of statues as well that come out through that, and then Pure Arts normally come along a year later and then release things. And the interesting thing, on the bottom of this, it says 2026 Ubisoft Entertainment. So that makes us think, is this statue launching this year? Is it next year if the game's delayed? Because obviously we know Ubisoft have delayed, was it 7 games and cancelled 6, or however the numbers were? I forget the exact amount, but there's a big reshuffle on projects going on. And last week we were really getting into the chaos that's going on at Ubisoft now. And it's interesting because last week, or on Sunday's episode with Henry Higgs, I said as a prediction, we are going to see so many Assassin's Creed leaks going forward, guys. And I called it on that episode. I don't want to be like, oh, I told you so, but it's so funny that on Sunday's episode, I was like, expect leaks, guys. They're coming. This is how Ubisoft are going to distract you from all the firings that are coming. 2,000 people are probably about to lose their job. This is how they get you talking about something else. They're about to leak tons of things about Assassin's Creed intentionally to build hype about Assassin's Creed so that you're not talking about the policies where they're making people with flexible working hours go into work. And that's no good because of childcare arrangements, so they're having to find another job. So they automatically have to go into the building, or any sort of childcare arrangements they had previously no longer stand. They're going to have to find a new way of making it work. So, and voluntary redundancies, it's all coming to Ubisoft. And there's talk now of Ubisoft Paris. Yves Guillemot is supposed to attend the studios on Tuesday for a bit of a public meeting with people. Everyone's going to leave their desk, stand outside the building and refuse to work and go on strike. And this is a planned event for Paris on Tuesday. So there are big turmoil and big events going on within Ubisoft they're organising, and apparently they're also talking about leaking massively things within the company, and we're also talking about things about Yves Guillemot as well. On a personal level, it's been suggested that things might be to get him back for the firings. Things are coming, and I said the leaks were coming from the perspective of Ubisoft themselves, and PR are going to be releasing things to distract us, and this is how it feels to me. What do you guys think about that? And purposely leaking things on purpose. Other people agree with this as well. How do you guys see that?
I think this is something we've touched on before. It's something I spoke about with Rick Bower, is that when he started doing all of his Black Flag stuff again, that was kind of how we all saw it, was that he was building hype back up and kind of leaning into this. It's coming, guys. That this is something's happening, and then you look at all these different things. Division 2 has now got Assassin's Creed collaboration going on, where you have to pay for the Ezio outfit, but the Edward outfits are free, and there's all these little things that you're like, it could be, and it would be really good distraction techniques for sure.
Feels to me.
It would make sense that they would do something like this, because it will distract everybody talking about the stocks, the possibility of Tencent wanting to buy them out, or all these different things. So who knows? I just want somebody inside Ubisoft to go, guys, this is what's happening. This is what we've done. This is why we're doing it. Instead of just letting us all come up with our own theories and stuff, just give us some solid evidence. Just give us something, anything.
How do you feel about this, Danny? It's so strange that someone would stumble upon this piece of merchandise on Vinted.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I wonder if this was all planted.
I mean, for it to have even found its way to Vinted implies that it was taken from somewhere within, do you know what I mean? And taken out. So someone somewhere had access to this to be able, because it's, I don't know how else to say this without sounding like, as someone who's worked within the kind of the art and the crafts industry for literally, like you said, over a decade, you cannot produce this kind of quality without the backing of a company like Pure Arts. It just doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? And again, everyone that's seen it has said the same thing. The level of detail, it could be Pure Arts before we knew that it was, right?
Right.
Now that we know that it is, and it's branded as well, because I can see, I've got the picture up in front of me. Respectfully, how can a company that big and a company like Ubisoft let a leak like this slide if it wasn't meant to be there?
Yeah. So
someone
in the
it comments,
doesn't feel accidental to me. And also, I saw someone in your comments say earlier that the fan base tends to do all the leaking and the advertising for them.
Yeah.
Them leaving us to theorize and try and figure things out and make links where links may or may not exist. That's their way of distracting. That's their way of taking the pressure off of themselves so that they can do whatever they need to restructure internally. Meanwhile, we're out here thinking about what's happening with Black Flag? What's happening with the future of Assassin's Creed? Are we getting this? Are we not? Are we, it all seems a little bit too coincidental. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, it seems too planned to be coincidence.
That is so valid.
I think some acknowledgement would be nice from Ubisoft, but I know that that's not going to happen. They won't acknowledge anything until they have done everything they need to on their end in terms of redundancies and shutting down studios, which I'm sure will come up later in conversation with you. Once they're ready to acknowledge it, I think then they'll turn around and issue some sort of statement. But more than likely, I think it won't really touch on what we want to know. Do you know what I mean? It won't confirm or deny whether this was an actual leak, whether it wasn't. None of that is really going to be acknowledged. That's just, it builds more for them if it keeps us thinking and waiting and hanging on to every word.
It's interesting, Danny. I've got a few points on that. So, are we supposed to believe this has been stolen from a Pure Arts warehouse, or how has this even happened? I imagine they've got huge warehouse facilities. Surely people are being searched in and out of them. This is a huge statue. He's not just put it in his bag. Like, this is crazy.
Exactly. But also, interestingly enough, it's a finished statue.
Yeah.
Right.
It is completely finished and ready for sale.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? You produce hundreds of these things and then you go through and kind of decorate each one and finalize them from there. You don't just make one perfect one that just happens to find its way onto Spanish Vintage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so strange. And all the big gaming companies and all the journalists have picked up on this. They're talking about this. And yes, people are still talking about the redundancies and things, but what's going to get them more clicks, really? It's going to be the hype that this is generating. This is such a distraction technique. We saw it coming a mile off, and there will be more. 100%.
Exactly.
It'll be, I mean, we've already had Matt Ryan leaking things accidentally. We've had Pure Arts on a live stream saying that there's more coming, hinting that things are on their way from Assassin's Creed. It's so strange. It's like it's planned. And I gave the example last week. I'm a big Manchester United fan, and they're having a very similar thing. People are getting made redundant. People are losing their jobs, and there's a restructure going on. And there's a sports analyst I watch, and he said what they will do is they'll try get a bit of morale, and what they'll do is they'll get people's energy hyped by leaking next year's kits. A day later, the kits leak on Twitter, on X. So honestly, this might be the new PR marketing strategy that people are going for. Yeah. I've seen it in the football world, and I'm seeing it repeat itself now in the gaming world. Is this what they do now? Is this what companies do to stop you talking about certain things? And the thing is, we cover everything here on the show. We give everyone a voice and a platform. And we're here speaking for the people who are about to lose their jobs as well, because we feel so sorry for them. What a terrible start to the year for them. And we'll be getting into that in a minute. And secondly, I want to get onto the second part of this story. The official Assassin's Creed account has replied. This will get so many views, and they must know, how many channels has this reply had to have gone through to even hit the internet? Is this an intern who's hit send without checking with their boss, but it's still there? It's not being deleted. They want you to see this. They want eyes on this tweet. And the funny thing is, it's Zephyrus from our team who sparked all this. So he's baiting Ubisoft and hey guys, we know this is real, and they've actually replied and acknowledged a leak, probably for the first time ever. And the interesting thing with this is, obviously last week I was saying about how there will be more leaks, and I came across a tweet from the Hidden One who said, I have a theory that the figurine, the Peggy stuff, it was controlled leaks with the intention to keep the hype there. So other people are clocking onto this and seeing the strategy that is, I believe, the underlying cause of why we're seeing this, instead of talk about the stocks, which James mentioned, which are at an all-time low, or people losing their jobs. They want you to care about Assassin's Creed and not all the people who are about to be made redundant, and it will affect them massively. I mean, I've got LinkedIn with all these people on, and people are losing their jobs left, right, and centre. They're desperate. I mean, everyone who worked on Assassin's Creed Rebellion, the mobile app, all the developers on there at the Halifax studio, they're there advertising themselves, all their skills. They're looking for new jobs, and yeah, it is crazy. And Zephyrus as well, who shared the post and got the reaction from Ubisoft. He also believes it was a controlled leak. He's messaged me saying it was highly planned to hype up the community around the remake and divert attention from Ubisoft's recent backlash. I think more leaks like this will come in the upcoming months. So I feel like a trendsetter on this. People are seeing it now.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It's cool that people's eyes are open now. They're seeing what's the reality. You know, nothing is true. That's what we believe here.
So Nars also said that this could be leading up to a shadow drop. This is something we've discussed before. Is that I think to damage control and to limit outrage on if it's a good game or not is, I think they'll do an event and they'll just say to you at the end of the event, oh, by the way, you can go play it now. Similar to the way that Bethesda did the shadow drop for the Oblivion remake. They did the video for it, they were talking about it, and then all of a sudden they went, oh, by the way, you can play it right now. And it forced everyone stopped what they were doing and went and downloaded it. It's something we've talked about before, that I think this would be the best strategy for them, is that we're all talking about it. We're all doing this. We're all doing essentially the marketing for them. Absolutely. With this game. We're the ones building the hype. We're the ones talking about it constantly. Even for someone like myself who doesn't like Black Flag, I'm even talking about it. I'm even doing videos on it, and I'm even being prepared to be like, right, I'll play it too. And the only way that they could do that is if they shadow drop it, reduce the number of people that have a bad thing to say about it. That way everyone gets to play it at the same time. I think this could be the start of something, and I think they will just go, that's it, here you go, now go play it.
Be very brave to do that, and I don't know if Tencent are. I mean, they're pulling the strings now, Vantage Studios, and yeah, this is the interesting thing. Ubisoft have never done that, so why would they start now? So I don't know. They like big marketing campaigns, you know, with like CGI trailers. What they did with Shadows was they had a really poor marketing campaign actually, but where the money went was like influencers playing the game, and they had like footballers playing it, and it was all very random. It was like every man and their dog had access to Assassin's Creed Shadows at one point, but then the sales figures have come out and it hasn't actually done that well. So they gave it to like big gamers and stuff and big YouTubers, but maybe not the right people. Maybe they need to be more selective with the process, but they do like to have like drawn out marketing campaigns. But it seems to me like with Shadows, the budget was massively cut. I mean, I feel sorry for the YouTubers who had to make content, because Assassin's Creed would release like one article for 3 months, one article on parkour, then you'd hear nothing, an article on stealth and you'd hear nothing again, an article about the characters and you'd hear nothing. And it's like, wow, like, we're not hearing about this game right now. So I wonder if that's what they'll do with Black Flag. They'll just let it sell itself. Let the rumors sell it. Let us as a community talk about it, get the hype building, the energy, and we do all the work for them, really. But what do you guys think?
I think they also have the advantage of, with Black Flag, obviously the game already exists. Yes. We've all played it, whether we liked it or not. It has a very, very, very strong kind of like strong backing from those who loved it. Like, they really loved it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Black Flag, I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed with me that Black Flag was the game that really divided the AC community, in the sense that those who loved it, and those who didn't just stayed away. Like, they just did not like it at all. It was very much like split down the middle. They have that to their advantage. Those of us who loved it will do all the talking for them. and they don't even need to push any kind of crazy campaign. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. If I got any sort of anything, an email from Ubisoft saying, hi, Black Flag Remaster's coming, do you want in on it? There is no chance on this earth I'm going to say no to that. And I'm someone who, I disagree with everything that's happening internally at Ubisoft. Do you know what I mean? I love the games, the company at the moment, not in the good books. And even I can't deny that I would like let an opportunity like that slide. And Ubisoft are known as well for, like you said, they put their budget into maybe not the right places. They love to capitalize off of free marketing. The amount of like, as a content creator, I know about certain things where when it comes to content, they don't really pay out, and they love that, and they know that we'll talk regardless and we'll make our content regardless. It benefits us at the end of the day, and they will just, they'll benefit off that as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And
I don't know how I feel.
Well done for having a stance on the Ubisoft situation as well, because I know a lot of people are being a bit silent about it, but I think that's the great thing about Rally of the Creed. We bring people together from all over the world, and people are using this platform as like a hangout for the community, and we are letting our voices be heard. And I think it's great to get such a mix of opinions, and for sure, like what's going on at Ubisoft isn't right. It's not okay, and people are like, families out there are soon going to have no household income. I think it's horrible.
Exactly.
I think it's really horrible.
Exactly. Like, obviously, I think we, to an extent, we owe Ubisoft as a whole a lot of gratitude for, for kind of giving us the games that they have, and for giving us a community that we've been able to build through the love of their games. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that everything they do is okay and everything they do is right. And I think that's where it's important to acknowledge, where things are going wrong and where things are unfair. And I mean, at the moment, the gaming industry in itself is in a bit of a shambles. But
absolutely,
I don't know. I just don't think this is the right move. I don't think this is going to benefit anyone.
That is a very good point. And also, there's been some really great coverage this week of the ongoing situation at Ubisoft. There's been videos within the community. People are speaking out. So there was a video I watched by The Sticks. There was one by Willis Makes Movies, The Exile. So the hidden one. People are using their platforms to make their voices heard, and also just, I guess, spotlight the ordeals that people are going through. I mean, there are people at Ubisoft going into work who don't know if this is the day they're going to lose their job. Like, you could literally be at your workstation working on a product or working behind the scenes on something, and you know that you could be one of the people who lose your job that day. What a horrible environment to work in. So something needs to change. And I'm really glad that people with large platforms are using them to speak out. And like you said, Danny, it's just, we do owe them a lot of gratitude for the games and the communities that they've built. But then at the same time, it's our responsibility as fans to call this out when something bad happens, as we did during the Me Too movement with Ubisoft as well. Like, people really stood up and took charge during that and vocalized what was going on. So yeah, it's not a good time to be working at Ubisoft. And to go back to what I said before about the mass walkout that's planned, I've got a comment here from a French journalist that says, this is from an internal document that's been sent round, and it says, it's time to make our boss understand that he's not welcome in our offices as long as he continues to mistreat his employees. We call on Ubisoft Paris employees to walk out as soon as Yves Guillemot sets foot in our offices. Let's leave our workstations and gather at the foot of the building. This is so powerful. He goes in, they go out. That's such a message, and well done to everyone at Ubisoft for not rolling over and accepting it. Like, they're not happy with it. I know there are unions out there who are looking at going down the legal route for unfair dismissal as well. So there's a lot they can do about it, and hopefully people can find a job at the end of it, whether it's within Ubisoft or with a company that doesn't take them for granted and dismisses them. And what do you think, James? It's just been a crazy week in terms of Ubisoft.
It's been a wild week. I would also like to say that So Danny said that if she got an email saying that the Black Flag remake was sat there ready for her, that she would take it. I don't like Black Flag. If I got that email, I'd be happy about that email too. So, yeah, it's just a really weird. It's just a weird situation. It's something I've talked about with friends at work and stuff. Is that this is a company that we've grown up with for many years. So some of the best games I've ever played are Ubisoft games. Like some of the best times I remember playing a video game are Ubisoft games. And to see this studio and development team struggling right now with its leadership is really scary to think that at some point we potentially won't have this going around. And when you look at, obviously we're going to talk about it later, but Ubisoft Bordeaux, not even they're safe. And I would argue that they should be the only safe studio right now, because they developed one of the best stories that I've ever played in an Assassin's Creed game for a very long time. They should be the only studio that's safe right now. Not that none of them shouldn't be safe, but if we were going to say based on their work, that should be the studio that's safe. You shouldn't even think about getting rid of anyone on that team. But for even them not to be safe and secure in their job, it's a scary thought to be in. And if there's anything that we could do to help support the employees at Ubisoft, I'm more than prepared to do something, because this is people's livelihoods that we're talking about. These are dedicating years, if not decades, at a company just to be let go without any second thought is a scary thing. And if there's anything that we can do to help them in any way, shape, or form, I'm prepared to do so, if whatever that might be. So I think they're doing the right thing. And there'll be a point where he will have to take notice. The brothers will have to look at what they're doing and what's going on. And potentially Tencent, they need to have a discussion, because it eventually is going to start affecting their investment, and nobody wants their investment to come under threat. So it's not looking good either way.
Well, James, and especially we would love to help out any of the employees at Ubisoft, maybe even get someone on the show who could tell us about what's been going on behind the scenes. I imagine with all these problems, it brings financial difficulties, mental health difficulties. We would love to discuss how this has affected on a personal level and how people within the community can support and help. And like you said with Bordeaux, even though it's not necessarily been like removed completely, it has been repurposed to become a tech support studio. And like you said, James, some of the strongest writing we've seen in Assassin's Creed, and it's being stripped of all creative license to work on background tech and support. So this is so sad in my opinion, because the releases from Bordeaux, we've seen Valley of Memory, which is regarded as one of the best Assassin's Creed storylines or narratives of the last decade, truthfully. Very strong. Have you played that, Danny?
Yes, I have.
Nice. Fantastic. Assassin's Creed Mirage, so a lot of people like it, and a lot of people think it's very different to the RPG games, but I think narrative was probably where it let itself down a little bit. It felt a little bit rushed and short at times, but overall I personally enjoy Mirage. And then you've got Claws of Awaji, which had a lot of good ideas, but it just wasn't executed in the best way. But to look at two of them, I would say, Mirage outsold Shadows, so it's doing really well in terms of sales, and this is a smaller game, so this is probably part of why they're looking at games like Hexe, which are going to be shorter. It's part of the new business model. So Mirage is actually like a financial success. So 2 out of the 3 there, Valley of Memory and AC Mirage, are classed as good Assassin's Creed products. and they've come out of Bordeaux, which is now going to be working in the background. And we've got an article here from Tom Henderson, who works at Insider Gaming, and the people at Bordeaux believe they are the next to go. And it's so sad because with the imminent layoffs, like I mentioned it before, they go into work, and with the restructuring going on, they believe that any second of the day they could be handed, some kind of document that tells them they no longer work for Ubisoft, and that's it. So they are expecting it. I can't imagine that working environment. That must be so scary, so toxic, and I wouldn't want to work for them knowing this. And this is why they're going for voluntary redundancies, trying to encourage people to take redundancy pay. But it's just a really difficult time at Ubisoft. And Bordeaux, I'm so sad about this because they should have been handed the keys to Assassin's Creed after Valiant Memory, in my opinion. This was such a strong title. I saw no negative feedback to it. This was peak Assassin's Creed writing. This was narrative. It was personal. It was Basim's story. I honestly think it was one of the strongest releases we've had. And now to know that they're just going to be working on bugs and technical support, I think it's a real waste of talent. But as soon as we heard they weren't lumped in with Vantage Studios, I just thought they're dead. They're dead in the water. That could be the end of Bordeaux. So sad. But at least they're not going. At least the studio's going to be around. But it's just not going to be what we've known it to be over the last few years. So, yeah, how do you guys feel about Bordeaux becoming a tech support studio now?
I've met a couple of the people, a couple of the higher-ups from the team in Bordeaux. And they are so kind. I don't know how else to explain. They're just so lovely, and you can tell they're really passionate about the work that they put in. To know that, like you said, like when you think of Assassin's Creed, one of the first studios, if not the first studio that comes to mind, is Bordeaux. You do not expect that would be one of the ones that isn't safe. And the fact that it's realistically, it is going to be shut down because it's not going to be a creative studio anymore. Therefore, it's not the Ubisoft Bordeaux that we know. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Yeah. I mean, it was like James was saying, like some of the memories that we all have, some of those core memories and the best memories are of playing these games. And to think that that's not going to be something that we'll have moving forward potentially, it's heartbreaking.
It is very sad. And we've had a really good comment here from Trent, who says, it's a very bad system where those making the decisions take no accountability, so fire those below rather than leave themselves, do the industry a favour. And this is the thing, like James mentioned, because it's the Guillemot brothers, even if Yves was to step down, someone else would replace who they have selected. So because it's a family-run business, it probably wouldn't accomplish anything for him to stand down. Yeah. So they have to look at other ways of making this company work and just be a better environment for the employees and also build a community, because I don't know how much the Tencent Ubisoft agreement is going to be very community focused, because Tencent, as we know, it's a big superpower gaming giant in Asia. And I don't know how much work they do with communities in terms of like promoting games and things. Like Ubisoft in the UK are very personal. Danny, we mentioned before the events we've attended. And I don't know what sort of budgets they're going to be allocating for this sort of like promotion, marketing. I wonder if they just are looking for the free options, to be honest. Like we mentioned before, we are doing all the marketing for Black Flag right now. So yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if things will rapidly change under Tencent, or even though they only own however amount of stakes it was, with like 30% or whatever it might be. But yeah, I feel like they're pulling the strings, especially on Assassin's Creed. And now with the new creative houses that we mentioned a few weeks ago, it's like if you're not in these select creative studios, you're a dead brand. So like we mentioned, Prince of Persia is now dead in the water. Watch Dogs has died. It's really interesting to see that they want Assassin's Creed to become this £1 billion turnover gaming franchise, but then at the same time they don't want to put the work in and give it the support it needs and give Bordeaux the keys. They are the keepers of the Creed. They've been keeping people talking about Assassin's Creed in a good light, in a positive way. But now all these people, talented writers, they're just going to be working on tech support in the background. I don't know. I think it's tragic, and it's sad because it's just another week where we've got a negative thing to say about Ubisoft, where we'd love to come on and talk positively and have something nice to say, but yeah, not good. It's not a good one.
So, I literally, as you guys were talking, I was trying to think of a positive spin on this, because as we all know, I try to be the positive, optimistic person on the podcast. And the only thing I can think of is that I read somewhere that due to Tencent's investment, they can't put an official bid in for Ubisoft until 2030. And currently, as stocks sit, if they were to put a bid in, they're getting an absolute steal. Like, I think 2018, Ubisoft was valued at £1.5 billion or whatever it was, and now it's only £500,000 or whatever it is now, or £500 million or whatever. Whereas, so all I can think of a positive outcome is that Ubisoft put in some work, do some effort. All these layoffs, yes, it's a really rough moment right now, and they're trying to save money, but potentially this could lead to something great. And they release Black Flag, they release Hex. This ups the price of their stock. Both games do really well. People start talking about how good Ubisoft are. Price goes up. Tencent don't want to buy in 2030 because the price is too high, and then we get to keep Ubisoft. That's the only thing I can think of. Positive outcome right now is that. And also, when we say that people at Bordeaux, they're no longer going to be developing, does that mean that they have to stay at Bordeaux, or can they relocate to other studios? Could we have writers go to Montreal? Could we have them go to companies that working with the Chapter House one for Vantage Studios? So I'm hoping that it's not literally, you can't work for us anymore. You have to stay on tech support, or we have some of the writers, developers, some of the artists, or whatever it might be, going to these other studios and potentially having another form of having a way of doing the content that they've done for Bordeaux with a different studio. That's my only hope, is that instead of firing them, we just get to relocate them, which I know potentially wouldn't be a good thing, but it's the only positive spin I can think of on all of this.
I think that would be the best case scenario. Is obviously that they kind of move the more creative side of Bordeaux, or the people involved in that side of things, into some of the other studios, so that you have like a little sprinkling of Ubisoft Bordeaux and all the other. I think that would be the best case scenario.
That's what we need. That's what we're all hoping for.
Get the Bordeaux writers,
and please wrap them in bubble wrap. Take them where they need to go, and just let them sprinkle that. They are too good for this world. They get it. They are the best. And we love Bordeaux, our people.
Yeah,
we need them. We need those guys on Valiant Memory. We need them. So,
but also I feel like this is really horrible to say, because obviously layoffs are going to happen whether we would like it or not, whether we say anything or not. I hope that at the very least the layoffs can be kept to an absolute minimum, if that was the case, and that it wouldn't necessarily impact on the people who've been in Bordeaux for the last decade or more. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Working tirelessly on these games that we all talk about daily, only to then be let go at the end because, well, we're turning the studio into tech support, essentially, a tech support center. You know what I mean? I feel like finding them a new home in the other studios would be a better outcome for them as well. It means they get to keep their jobs, they get to keep supporting themselves and their loved ones, and they don't have to, you know, because like you said, that environment must be awful, going into work every day, debating, do I voluntarily go into redundancy? Do I quit now? Do I look for a job elsewhere? Do I, stay and hope for the best? Like, it must be so stressful.
Definitely. It's such a strange time to be working for Ubisoft, and there will be people that have volunteered to be made redundant who are now probably looking for a new job elsewhere. It's so difficult. I really feel sorry for these people, and I hope things get better at Ubisoft and they can start to heal. And hopefully over the coming weeks, I've got 4 or 5 more episodes before my hiatus begins here on the show, and then James will take the reins because baby number 2 will be here. But I'm hoping every week, James, when you're hosting, we can have some positive news that you can cover, and that's what we hope.
I'll try.
Well, it's not down to you. Hopefully the universe throws some nice stories for you to cover.
If you're going into work and you're thinking, is this the day that I'm going to be fired? You're not going to go into work and give 110%. Because you're going to be like, well, I'm going. So what's the point? Why should I put in the time and the effort if I'm just going to be fired anyway? Which potentially is that could be a way that Ubisoft's going, oh well, if we loom over them the potential layoffs, we're going to see who cares and who doesn't. And it could worm out people, but essentially, I genuinely don't think that anyone in Bordeaux should be let go at all, because Valley of Memory was one of the best looking DLCs we've ever had. It was the best written story we've ever had. There were so many great positives to take from that game that they should be okay. They also wrote, I'm pretty sure they also did, was it Wrath of the Druids for Valhalla? And people love that DLC. People think that's the best DLC for Valhalla. So even if they don't get a chance to do another game, let them do the DLCs. Let them just do something because this development team needs to be involved with Assassin's Creed. If we want to keep doing great AC content and they want us to promote their stuff, this is the development team that needs to be involved with this franchise. There's no other way around it. I personally think.
I agree. If they want to keep the fan base that they have, they need to keep delivering content worth playing and worth talking about. As well. Do you know what I mean? They can't expect to make sales on respectfully shit content. Like they can't put out bad games, rush games, shorter games, and then expect us all to give it the same love that we gave, the projects that they worked hard on, that they actually put dedication and love and time and effort into.
And this is a developing story, so we'll definitely be covering this as it unfolds over the next few weeks. I imagine there's more news to come from this. Sadly, there will be more layoffs. There's going to be a lot more to talk about. We'll see if it gets better or worse. So, 100%. And finally, the last bit of news this week, we sort of touched on it before, is that Assassin's Creed has done a crossover with the Division 2. What do you guys think about this? We've got some robes here, and as James mentioned before, some of them are locked behind a paywall where some of them are free. So have a look at them here. You can see Edward Kenway, we've got Ezio there, and I think I saw Shay Cormac as well there.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this, doing a little collab with the Division 2?
So it actually made me re-download Division 2.
Nice.
I like Division. I think it's a great series. I love the concept and stuff. So it actually made me re-download the game. What I don't like is that some of the outfits are behind a paywall and some aren't. That's what I don't like. And I don't particularly like the fact that I have to pay to get Ezio's outfit, but I get bloody Edwards for free. That's not the one I want. I don't want that one.
Do you think that's why they did it, though?
I
kind of give you like a hint of what they could look like, and then when you think, oh, actually, I want to be Ezio, then you go and pay for Ezio's.
Yeah, I think they've done it for two reasons. We always get, if they're doing legacy outfits in Assassin's Creed or collaborations or whatever it might be, I think we always get Ezio's one for free. It's the one that people love. It's the one that people want because it's Ezio. They love Ezio. I have a sneaky feeling, as I mentioned earlier, I think the reason they've done the Edward one for free is because it's like, guys, come on, you know you want
it's
to.
What everyone's talking about.
You want to get into this. Yeah, this is what everyone will talk about. So I think this is a good thing and a bad thing. I'm not angry about it in a way, but I did notice that the collaboration date is from the 29th of January to the 12th of February. And the 12th of February is when Ubisoft do their third quarter investors meeting.
Okay.
From what I understand, is on the 12th of February. So could this be let's build interest, let's show investors this is what we're having a great end to the third quarter. Let's push for that fifth quarter, and then we're into the next fiscal year, which is something we talked about last week, is that from April the 1st will be the start of the fiscal year 26, which is when they've said that Black Flag, is when it was rumored that Black Flag would be in the fiscal year of 26. So could this be a build up to that? I don't know.
It's interesting. And to go back to what you said about paywalls as well, we had some information recently that Ubisoft made £45 million from microtransactions in Assassin's Creed last year. So it's a huge turnover for them. So I'm not surprised that some of these are hidden behind. It's interesting that you point out that Edwards is free, and that could be another tease at Black Flag Resynced. And looking at the outfits, do you guys think these are really good, like recreations of the outfits? Or, because to me, I'm looking at this side profile one, they look a little bit like chunky. Like, did you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at like Ezio's robes and Edward's robes from the side on this first picture. I don't know. I don't know if they've like copied and pasted them across from the other games, or if they've rebuilt them from scratch, but I don't know. What I'll be interested to see is when my good friend Willis Makes Movies makes a video on the robes, because he always does robe videos. So I'll be really interested to see how they work, and we'll get the teaser on as well so you guys can see it. But yeah, how do you feel about them? Do you think they look authentic to the games?
I personally have always liked that, because they did obviously before Division 2 it was For Honor. They brought a For Honor event in with Assassin's Creed, and they kind of did their own spin on some of the main Assassin's robes then. I like that they don't just copy and paste them straight in. I like that they kind of put they've put a Division 2 spin on the outfits. I think it's quite cool. I used to, many years ago now, play Destiny and Destiny 2, and obviously Ubisoft did a crossover with Destiny 2. Was it last year? Last year or the year before, where they did outfits inspired by Ezio, and they made them more they made them fit better with the characters in the game, rather than just making them copy and pastes of the actual Assassin's robes. I quite like it, personally. I'm not going to lie. I really didn't look that much into the Division event, more so because I was originally supposed to make some content on it, and then it got pulled last minute. Not really sure what that was about, but it got cancelled. So I never ended up going through with it, because I would have had to get the game and go through everything and sort that, because I don't play Division. But I liked what I saw online.
It's cool. And
whether or not everyone feels the same, I don't know. But all I'm going to say is gone are the days when you can unlock them in a tomb.
Absolutely.
I miss those days. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Ezio's Revelations robes was the other one which I missed, by the way, guys. So that one's there available too. And
yes.
I didn't add it to the notes for this episode, guys, but I just wanted to make you aware that there has been backlash on these robes, and it was because of the teaser trailer coming out. And this, I'm not saying this is the Assassin's Creed community, but there has been racism towards the character who's wearing the Ezio robes. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but on X, when they released this trailer, I saw 4 comments, and I had to block 4 people who were like a black man wearing Ezio's robes, N-word, like all this stuff about like the fact that they chose to put Ezio's outfit on a person of color. And yeah, man, this is just horrible, really, because that's not what this is about at all. And they've made it this way. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like they've gone for something which is like a gift for the community, and they've turned it into something else. And yeah, like Naren says, normal day on Twitter. Yeah, you don't know what you're going to come across, do you? And yeah, it's just like, why are people like this? But 4 comments I saw, but I imagine there's a lot more. You know what Twitter's like these days. But yeah, it's just something to be aware of, that it is out there, but that's the internet for you, isn't it? It's not a nice place to be. It's unfiltered. Yeah, like Naren says, I've seen much worse from Twitter. There are no filters, absolutely, but that does exist out there in the world, and yeah, it's sad to see, really, because that's not what this is about, really. And you can choose different character models to replicate. I know the one on the right sort of has like a look of like Edward's skin color and stuff, but then there'd be no comments about that. Like I don't know, they've selected this, and yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up because that's like minor backlash from like a certain corner of the internet. And I'm not saying it's the Assassin's Creed community, but yeah, that just says a lot about the internet in 2026, doesn't it? But that's the news for this week, guys. Quite a lot of negative once again, sadly, and yeah, that's just the way it is at the minute. We will cover hopefully more positive stories in the future should they come to light. And we had a few questions for you, Danny, just some closing points of discussion. We were hoping if you could discuss, what are your hopes for Assassin's Creed moving forward?
I know what I don't want them to do. If that makes it a little bit easier.
Let's start there then.
Right. Start there. I don't want a Valhalla. Any more Valhallas. They tried it and they can leave it there. It can stay there. I was not a big fan of that move in terms of the open world's fine. I love me an open world game. The survival stuff, nah, not for me. Like, if I wanted to play an open world survival game, I'd play an open world survival game. I want Assassin's Creed because I want to look cool, because I want a good story. I want to feel what these characters are going through, and I want to hidden blade people. And we lost that for a moment. We brought it back, but we lost it for a minute. So I want them to... That's my scuffed setup again. I had to plug my phone in, so I'm trying to like balance it again. But yeah, that's kind of one thing that I hope that they'll stick with is they obviously went back to the hidden blade stuff. I want them to keep that. Ideally, I don't want them to lay anyone off. I want them to keep, everyone that like we said already, everyone that was involved in making these games there. My phone is not staying in place at all. It's really not. You know what? Forget it. There you go. I think moving forward, I would like to see them branch out into. If we're talking specifically Assassin's Creed, I want to see them branch out into more universes, into more cultures. I love the idea of Hex. I think that is going to be a sick game. I hope it's as good as we want it to be. I do like those kinds of the exploration into different areas of the world in different time periods. It's always been something that I think we all look forward to in Assassin's Creed. However, I really hope that they can give us the same, like I said before, the same quality that we've had previously. You know, like Valley was just beautiful. Like that was for me, it was quite a surprise because Mirage, I loved Mirage. I loved the game. I loved everything about it. It tapped into my culture from my hometown. And I was really happy to see that in a game, especially a game that I've loved so much. But then Valleys came out and it was a shock to me how good it was. It was just beautiful. It played out so nicely and I really enjoyed it. I hope that they can continue to deliver that. And that's why I'm quite upset about Bordeaux, but I'm hoping that maybe they might integrate some of them, like we said, into other studios and keep that going. I think that'd be really nice. I'm looking forward to, hopefully, dare I jinx it, the show.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the show as a cosplayer, especially. I am looking forward to becoming obsessed with at least 3 of the different outfits that we see in that. And then making those and then crying over them. I don't know. I'm hopeful for a lot of things. I just really want them not to cut corners. You know? I know they're trying to save face and they're trying to save money, but don't cut corners and give us bad quality games and bad quality in general in everything that they do and then expect us to just accept it because we love Assassin's Creed. I don't think that's very fair. I don't think it's a fair ask. And I think it's unfair to the people who work on the games as well, you know, to have that be their representation of them and their work. So
I think that was such a lovely and brilliant answer, by the way. So that was really great, by the way. I think
including my phone collapsing, yeah?
Yeah. Even with the phone call, I think that answer was like it summed up this episode, and it was brilliant. So what a great answer, by the way. So
thank you.
Lots to look forward to, hopefully. And I like that you're excited for Hexe. What in particular gets you excited about the concept of that one?
Honestly, I just think it's so different from anything because Hex, as like a concept, the whole thing of hexes, it's not necessarily something rooted in history per se. It's obviously a lot of it is rooted in folklore and in belief rather than necessarily a specific period in history. So I think it's going to be really cool to delve into more of less of the real and the scientific and maybe a bit more of the kind of the unknown.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I just think it's such a cool vibe. Like when they did the teaser for that, was that 2 or 3 years ago now? The first teaser that we ever got.
Yeah, I think it must be 3 years ago now. 2023.
I think it was at least yes, 2023. Oh yeah, I forget we're in 2026 now. Yeah, so it was technically 3 years ago now. When they teased that, I remember thinking, oh my god, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
So I really hope they deliver on it. Please.
Fingers crossed. We're going to be excited for that one too. I mean, we've had some cool ideas about that game. So check out the Halloween episode if you guys haven't seen that. We literally spent 2 hours talking about Hexe, how a fear system could work, the characters, the use of a cat companion. Yeah, it was really fun. And also the time period, the idea of being like someone who could create the plague. The Templars are creating the plague and they're using it to wipe out towns so that they can control them. There we had all sorts of crazy ideas on this game, and we're excited for that one too. So that's really cool, Danny. And whilst we're talking about your like Assassin's Creed and in general things you like about it, what's your favorite Assassin's Creed game? I forgot to ask at the start.
2. Just Assassin's Creed 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Biggest fan,
Yes. Well, yeah, but that game, I think, like there was a lot that came with that game that was very different from the first one. And obviously up until that point we'd only had the first one. So I think that one just stuck with me for a long time.
That's a good response. I mean, I know Assassin's Creed 2 is
I sunk so many hours into that game. That was the first game I ever 100%ed. So
that's cool.
That might also be a reason that I love it so much. But yeah, that's my favorite.
Oh, fantastic. And James, you're a big fan of AC2 as well, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, it's just a masterpiece. And it's going to upset some people in the chat, particularly Noah, who isn't a massive Ezio Trilogy fan. But for me, it's just a standout game.
And moving on to our final few questions, Danny, I was wondering, have you ever considered creating an original character from Assassin's Creed to cosplay?
Oh my God, yes. So many times.
Really?
So many times. That might be something that I'm working on this year. We'll see.
Nice.
I've wanted to a million and one times. I'm not even gonna lie. Roshan very nearly became a custom concept for a minute. I decided against it in the end. I kind of wanted to keep it as it is in the games, but yes, I really, really, really want to.
That's so
it's
cool.
just going to be a case of figuring out what I want to go with style-wise, because I have a lot of ideas.
That's so cool. So it's something we can look out for this year. 100%. We'll be keeping an eye out for that,
hopefully.
I hope you make it happen.
I want to ask, if you were to make a character, original cosplay character, what time period would you use? What would be the influence behind the outfit?
It's quite a difficult one, actually, because I feel like a lot of the time periods that I wanted originally ended up becoming games. So I would have said, Edo era Japan, we've got shadows now. I wanted to say originally one of the ideas was to do something based on, like I said, my hometown and my home country, and we got Mirage, so that covered that. I don't actually have a specific time period, but maybe something, honestly, maybe something more recent, like something within kind of the 19th, the 20th or 21st century, I think would be quite cool. Imagine like Desmond-ish, but if Desmond was an assassin rather than a descendant of one.
Ooh.
Okay.
So kind of like more, because I'm like, I'm very like kind of streetwear and techwear vibes. That would be really cool as an assassin, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine like a full black outfit, but then with like a hidden blade?
Sweet.
So kind of like a Watch Dogs meets Assassin's Creed sort of.
Yes, nice. Kind of like something like that. That would be really cool. But that I feel like is too simple for me. I'm a sucker for details. So I would potentially do, honestly, I really like the Spanish Inquisition.
Ooh,
like that era. Obviously they touched on it in the movie, but it was quite I would do something based on that. But I'd probably go more into the Ottoman side of things rather than the Spanish. I think that would be really cool.
That's cool.
It's like, like Ottoman Empire.
So around Revelation, sort of.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be quite cool.
Oh, nice.
But yeah.
Definitely. So lots of
like I said, I've got too many ideas and not enough time or money.
You need to get yourself like a sketchbook and just draw them all out.
Oh, do you know what? I used to have one and then I got rid of it because I was just, every day I was just filling it up with things that never happened.
Well, this year, new sketchbook,
this year,
new ideas.
It's happening this year.
It's happening. So, before Danny, we've talked about Black Flag and the leaks, but what do you hope to see from the Black Flag remake or resynced as it's supposedly titled?
Do you
hoping for change or the same game, but just with better graphics?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the exact. Obviously, I doubt that will be the case, but I wouldn't mind the same exact game, just with better graphics.
Cool.
I think that like a game like that deserves to be played on a better screen, if that makes sense. So to give us like the ability to do that, just to upscale it without changing anything, would be incredible. Yeah, honestly, I couldn't, like, whenever I think about it, I just assumed that it would be the same game. Just, like I said, just remastered. Like, I never really thought about it in any other way. But...
That's interesting. That's like the opposite of sort of like the way I see it. So I know a big criticism of Black Flag is, you only play as an assassin at the end. So what I would do is add in a lot of like stories from the book. So there's a really good Black Flag novel by Oliver Burden. add all that in, which is like his relationship with
cool,
his
actually, yeah.
family. He finds out that his father-in-law's like a Templar, and there's like loads of mad stuff going on at home, controlling
Would you want
whales.
it to be similar to Shadows, where you can jump between the different characters, or would you want it to be like play half as and then play the other half as? Like, how would you
flashbacks
do it?
for me. I'd like more flashbacks. So Edward had so many drunken nights.
Yeah.
Give him a bottle. He's on a beach. We've seen it before, and just let him have a flashback. Like we like the one we see the ones where he goes back and sees Caroline, and there's the discussions there with his wife. But I'd like to see more of like how he met her, like was in the book, the Templars that are running things there, and then also you've got like a manga series going on right now. Edward went around the world. No one knows about this, but Edward went around the world and found pieces of Eden. He was many years as an assassin, and you don't see it in the game. So I think really expand Edward's story, make him a legendary assassin, because you barely see it in the game.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. I can get behind that.
So that'd be good. I think, James, that's one of your criticisms of the game. So maybe you could see Edward in a different light if this was to happen.
I wanna love the game. I really do. I think that they have to lean. We've talked about it before. I think that Black Flag is the prototype of the RPG era. So I want them to lean heavily into the RPG stuff. You pretty much got it all there anyway. So just make it more evident. Give us more time with Edward as an assassin, because one of the biggest criticisms of the RPG era is that they aren't assassins. They don't care about the assassin order.
Yeah.
They, other than being in that universe, they don't have anything to do with the assassins or whatever. Yeah. But this is the same reason that people don't like the Black Flag. It's why I don't like it, because you spend most of the time as a pirate. As a pirate game, yes, it's a great pirate game, but as an Assassin's Creed game, I don't think it lives up to the story that we had before. And maybe that's partly because of us losing Desmond, and then we had Altair, we've had Ezio, we've had Connor, these great characters, and then I felt like just a bit meh with Edward. But that's my personal preference. I know many people out there love him, and I would never knock anybody for loving the game. Love what you love, but yeah, I just want them to lean into it a bit more and just have a bit more fun. And just give us the full RPG stuff. You got level-ins with the Jackdaw, which essentially is a character progression system. So give us a progression system. Give us loot. He's a pirate. Give us loot. He's going to find loot. Give us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Make him a proper pirate.
Yeah, and make the traversal better. In like the Jackdaw. Yeah, because it's so slow and boring. Just make it a little bit better.
That's what the shanties are for. I just want more shanties.
No.
Add 30 more shanties, I'll be so happy.
No.
30, wow.
No.
You know what? They had like a trend on TikTok over the last few years. Sea shanties were a big thing. They were trending.
Yes.
Get these guys who are like TikTok famous, get them to record them for Black Flag. That's what I would do.
Ubisoft would love that as well. Free content for them.
Yeah, that'd be good. We're giving them ideas now. We do all the work for them.
I want less sea shanties.
I want Matt Ryan to sing them. I want Edward himself to sing some sea shanties.
That would be sick.
Not the backing singers. Let the main singer have a go now.
Give me more.
That would be very cool.
Give me a faster traveling time, because it can become sluggish and boring when you've got to get from one corner of the map over to the other. there's no fast travel points, so you have to go in the ship, and you have to weave in and out of all these islands and what have you, and you encounter ships that are too strong for you, or you have to run away, or whatever it might be. I just want it to be a little bit faster because, again, I think it takes longer to cross the map on Black Flag than it does on Odyssey, even though Odyssey is a 20 kilometer squared bigger than Black Flag, but it takes longer to cross Black Flag's map than it does Odyssey. So just make it a little bit faster, I guess.
Fair enough.
And you guys let us know in the comments what you want to see from the Black Flag remake, also known as Resynced. And our final point of discussion, Danny, before we get on to our write-ins, what do you think of the setting for the Netflix series? So we've learned that it's going to be set in Italy, and actually it's going to be set in ancient Rome with Emperor Nero as the villain. This is before assassins are established in Assassin's Creed lore.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this? It's before Bayek and Aya.
Yeah, so obviously they're going to sort of, I don't know, I think what they're doing is they're setting up their own universe where assassins exist and Templars, or the Templar equivalent.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it happens before Bayek. Bayek is the first known assassin or assassin-like. Do you know what I mean? So I think that what they're going to do is they're just going to ignore that the games exist. And I think that they're going to do their own thing where this is where the Assassin's Order started.
Wow. Ooh, that
I don't think, I
no.
think, because
Retcon.
I think it would be too complicated for them to then have to tie that somehow into the universe as the games open up for us. And I think that it makes sense as a story to just make it as if this is its own universe, this is its own thing, and this is where. So I think we're going to see a lot of like the starting of some form of order, the evolution of that, and then now how that brings about whether it's Templars or whether it's just enemies. Do you know what I mean? Just rivals in general. How they kind of come into play and what goes on there. I don't think that they're going to tie it into the games at all.
It's interesting. I've never heard anyone.
That's fantastic.
That's controversial. I like
James
that.
is like, wow.
Actually brilliant. That is actually brilliant.
So we're hitting reset on the Assassin's Creed series and starting from Netflix. It is how you see it. That's so interesting, that perspective.
Almost.
And I actually wouldn't mind that.
Neither would I, weirdly enough. I feel like it would give a fresh perspective on things. Do you know what I mean?
Of like, we have this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I loved the film. I'm one of the few people that genuinely really loved the film, but also I understand why people didn't.
Yeah.
They tried to tie it into the games and having the animus and having, do you know what I mean? All these elements from, there's a lot, and they didn't really unpack it very well. They just kind of like threw it all in there and expected those of us who played the games to understand, which we did, but then people who haven't played the games
spawn
have no idea. Realistically, I sound like such a boomer right now. A lot of the younger generation probably haven't played the original games. Do you know what I mean? Anything pre-Odyssey?
I was thinking Odyssey, there's.
Do you
reckon?
A new wave of Odyssey, I feel like, a new wave of fans jumped on in Odyssey, and obviously Odyssey, it didn't have any of those original elements. It didn't have the animus, and it didn't have, Desmond or whoever it was in Desmond's lineage, for example, that would have been the next to go through if. So they already strayed away from what we knew Assassin's Creed to be. But I mean, they already had before then, obviously, with Black Flag and Syndicate. But like, they specifically with Odyssey was completely different to all the games we'd had so far. And I feel like the Netflix show will be watched by a lot of younger people who probably haven't played those original games. They might have played like the last one or two, but they probably haven't gone deep into the AC lore like we have. And they haven't grown up with it like we have. So I feel like it would make sense for them to kind of do their own thing with it rather than trying to link it into these older games that don't even, I don't know.
That is a cool take on it.
That is actually a brilliant thing, because everyone who's talking about it is looking at it from a how's this going to tie into the games? How's this going to tie into the lore that's already established?
Yeah.
But what about if it just had its own?
I don't even think even the robes are going to look anything like we know in the games.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they're going to make it all completely different. I don't...
If we had almost like a MCU type thing, where this is the ACU, this is the Assassin's Creed universe.
That's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I like that, the ACU.
This is the cinematic universe, which is completely different to the established lore of the games and the comics and the books and whatever else out there. But it would be a great way to do it. I think it would work really well. And I didn't know that it would be Emperor Nero, because he's a great character. He's a great historical emperor of Rome. It would work really well. I know one disturbing fact about Nero, and that's it. So I'm interested to know more.
Go on, tell us.
Okay, so
disturbing fact.
My interesting fact about Nero is that he killed his wife. I think he kicked her down some stairs. Basically, he killed her. Got so depressed and sad about it that he ended up marrying a boy who looked like his wife, and essentially turned him into a eunuch. So that he, that's my only fact about Emperor Nero.
So the way I see that is trying to replicate what he lost in a way.
Yeah. So he got rid of his wife, felt really sad about it, and then because he couldn't get his wife back, got the next best thing. Yeah.
So problematic points to that story, but we'll have to do like a history episode. Yeah, man. I knew he had a golden palace, and that's it on my end. But we will see how the show covers this. Maybe his wife was assassinated or something. Who knows what they'll do with it?
That would be really cool. Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe an assassin who looks like Nero impersonated him and booted her down the stairs. Who knows?
Or she was an assassin, tried to kill him.
I was just going to say, she was part of the Assassin's Order somehow.
You're right. Interesting. Oh, yeah, we'll have to cover that in a future one. But how do you feel about Italy? Because obviously a lot of people think of Italy as Ezio and unlikely to make an appearance, considering this is, 2,000 years before his birth, maybe longer.
I think as tempting as it is to bring Ezio into it, it would be a bad move on their part, because realistically, who on earth can be Ezio in real life? Do you know what I mean? It's such a controversial topic. I don't think they'll ever make it happen. Point. But also, when they first said Italy, I think my mind went to Ezio as well, and I thought, oh god, no, please don't tell me they're going to attempt to recreate those 3 games in a show. But then they said it was going to be much further back. I was like, right, okay, we're good, we're safe.
Something new. I agree. Who could play Ezio? It's so difficult. I mean, I don't know who they'd get. I wouldn't want to go through and do a top 5, because to be honest, I'd want someone I've not heard of, an unknown. I think that'd be better.
Yeah.
I
just think as an actor as well, who would want that responsibility? You'll be hated for the rest of your life if you did it badly. Do you know what I mean?
True.
So I don't think they could ever get anyone to play Ezio. It would never work. He's so iconic in the franchise that it just wouldn't work. There'd be no way for them to do it. That I have spoken about people who I think could play in an Ezio game, but I think he's now passed away, so I don't think it could ever happen. But I just don't. I think stay away from Ezio. Stay away from any established characters.
Yes.
Because you're instantly going to get he doesn't look like him. He doesn't sound like him. He doesn't sound like her. He doesn't walk. Like, if you got someone to play Roshan, for instance, and they don't sound like they smoke 40 cigarettes a day, it's just not going to work.
Exactly.
If you get someone to play Altair and they don't have that American accent like he does in the first game, it's not going to work. It's just not, unless you're going to get Roger to play Ezio, because he's the only voice that could do it.
But even then, they're going to say Roger doesn't look like him.
He doesn't look like him, and it's just not going to work.
Exactly, so this is it.
Just stay away from...
Yeah. I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, just stay away from established characters. Basically. Come up with your own, create something new, create something special. And who knows, maybe we'll like it.
So... it would be nice to have something positive to say about the Netflix show. Like you mentioned before, Danny, it brings in a completely new audience for Assassin's Creed. And if it is a fresh start, then this is the first time people are going to be learning about Assassin's Creed from a new generation, quite possibly. Because for many of us who've been with the Assassin's Creed brand a long time, you know, we've been following it forever. Some people growing up, they won't know what Assassin's Creed is, and they'll see it on Netflix one day. It's like, oh, let's see what that is, and they'll learn about Assassin's Creed this way. So it's interesting, but definitely, that could be the way people learn about it. And that brings me on to the final section on community interactions and write-ins and sort of topics of discussion before we get into our pitching an Assassin's Creed game. And James, this has come from one of your videos for our TikTok channel.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
TikTok user Jordan Duffy 49. So this was your video about Jacob and his reckless approach, and you asked the question: did Jacob's reckless approach hurt the assassin cause? And it's an interesting one. And we have an opinion from Jordan who says, in my opinion, Jacob should never have been an assassin. He didn't follow the creed at all, and he didn't really feel mature enough. One of the tenets is hide in plain sight, but my boy Jacob straight up throws fist fights everywhere. Discuss. What do we think?
I think he's right. I don't think it's
right.
I think he's right. We all say that you can't have the likes of like Eivor, Bayek, Cassandra or Alexios, Yasuke, because they don't hide in plain sight. That's like their thing. That's the main thing, like hide in plain sight. And the only person that really was good at that is Altair. Yeah, I think he's right. I love Jacob, I really do, but I like him because he acts first and then asks the question after. And that's kind of how I go through my own life, is that I react to something, or I do something first and then I go, oh, actually, how should I have done this better? So I use my emotions first and then deal with, and I feel like he does the same. And I think the reason it's such a glaring, obvious thing is his sister, who is so opposite to him.
Yeah.
And she does the whole hiding in plain sight much better than he does. So yeah, I think he's right. I don't even think it's an opinion. I think it's fact. I think if you were to say in any way, shape or form, do you consider Jacob an assassin? No, because he constantly goes against everything that the creed teaches us to do.
That's interesting. What do you think, Danny?
I agree. However, bear with me. If Jacob existed in real life and he was as rowdy and loud and stupid as he is in the game, would you in a million years think this guy is an assassin?
No.
No. Therefore, he's hiding in plain sight. No?
Smart. Yeah.
Ezio is from one of the richest families, and that kind of, in a way, helps him because no one would look at him, the spoiled son of like, he's not an assassin. And Jacob, in a weird way, kind of does similarly. I mean, Ezio, fair enough, he grew up a lot. He was reckless before he was an assassin. But I feel like Jacob kind of takes that and plays it to his advantage a bit, because he's like, no one's going to suspect anything of me, so I can just continue to be as I am. How he got to be an assassin, that part we should be questioning. Who looked at him and thought assassin?
He's a Nepo baby. His dad was Ethan Fry. I mean, that's the thing. He grew up into it, so he didn't really have a choice.
Yeah,
so
I suppose. I mean, again, though, in comparison to Evie, like, anyone would look at Evie and think, yes, she's perfect for this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She's smart, she's strategic, she's mature, she does everything, like, perfectly. Jacob, not so much, but I still think he makes it work. If nothing else, cool. he brought, like, a lighter side to that game that I really enjoyed. Syndicate's one of my all-time favorites.
Syndicate's good fun. It's nice to have
it is it's fun. This is it. It's
recognize
fun.
Things,
and I really like that. But yeah, like I said, how on earth they decided to keep Jacob? Fair enough, yes, he's Ethan's son, but like, what made them decide that he was also fit to be an assassin? I will never understand. But I think he does it decently well. I mean,
Oh, this is splitting opinion. I want to know what you guys think in the comments as well, because my take on this is that the Assassin's Creed series is all about ideology. So as long as you have the ideology of an assassin, where you are fighting for freedom against the tyranny, and obviously Jacob liberates London alongside his sister, but most of the missions are not evenly split. There are more Jacob missions than Evie, more assassination targets. He kills more people. Therefore, he is an assassin liberating London. No matter how he does it, he does break the tenet, hide in plain sight, but also he's sort of like making friends with them, then changing his mind and killing them. The ultimate ruse. So, yeah. He's hiding in plain sight in a way. He's getting to know them on a personal level, then killing them. So, I don't know. I think it's about ideology, and I think Assassin's Creed can be set anywhere throughout history. And as long as you have this mindset, they say in Altair's Codex, even if the assassins were completely wiped out, the two factions would emerge again throughout history, because there will always be good versus evil and freedom versus control. It will always emerge, and there'll always be a party trying to control the weaker. And I think Jacob standing up and liberating London is an example of like assassins once again taking back control after hundreds of years. So yeah, I think he played his part. He was an assassin, and I don't think we should kick him out of the Creed crew.
I 100% agree with Danny. He should never have made it past basic training. He shouldn't have got that far. Did he get past basic training? It just makes no sense.
It really does.
And I think that's more of what the question was, is that we're all here to not all of us, but the community as a whole criticizes the RPG games because they're reckless. They don't adhere to the tenets as much as previous games.
Yeah.
Whereas we've seen through the other games that not all of the protagonists we love or don't love stick to those very same tenets.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So it's more about, by your definition of what an assassin is, does he fit this image? He's reckless, he's brash, he doesn't really care much. He's just there for the fight. He doesn't really care about the outcome. He's just there for a good time. And does that hurt the assassin cause? If he just took a split second to think about his actions, would aiding Evie be better for him and the cause, as opposed to, I'm just going to make a gang and I'm just going to have a right good old time in London right now, for just shits and gigs? Do you know what I mean? I think that's more of where we're going with it. Is his comical, lackadaisical look on life more of a hindrance than it is actually to aid the Creed. And I kind of think it is. And I like Jacob. I do. I think he was the better character in Syndicate. But yeah, I would love to know how we got this nepotism at its finest for sure. But how we got past, I don't know how basic training works for assassins in London, but even old Greenie didn't seem too pleased by Jacob's actions. So it just begs the question how he got there.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And we want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments, so let us know on that. We're going to move on to the final segment of the night, guys. We're going to be pitching an Assassin's Creed game, which is an Assassin's Creed Odyssey sequel, and this is from writings by Reddit user Ivar for Sale. So I'm going to read his pitch. It's quite long, but stick with me, guys. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is still the most played Assassin's Creed game 7 years after its release, with an average 3,500 active players on Steam over the past month, compared to around 2,500 active players for Shadows and around 1,500 active players for Valhalla and Origins. Since Ubisoft's attempt at a slam dunk by setting the Assassin's Creed series into a long-awaited feudal Japan setting has obviously been a miss, why not attempt the next logical slam dunk move and give the people a sequel to their most popular recent game? And there is actually a perfect setting for a direct sequel to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Athens' disastrous Sicilian campaign of 415 BC, and this is around 7 years after the end of Odyssey. This would set the game in Magna Graecia, pictured below. To give you guys an idea, this includes Alcibiades, I can't even say his name, the blonde one from Odyssey. Can anyone pronounce his name? Because I never could. Alcibiades. I always struggle with that one. He's going to lead the entire expedition, getting summoned back into Athens for a trial for sacrilege before he got really drunk and defaced some statues with obscene graffiti the night before he embarked. So it's going to be sort of like him trying to lead this campaign. It's going to extend the map a little to the north, which will be mainly like Roman Republic areas, and extend it a little to the south as well. And it will make the map a lot more diverse than just Greece in Odyssey. So we would have also lands owned by the Roman Empire. It would be very interesting with naval combat as well. It could be a big feature in the game. There'll be no war mechanic, since unlike mainland Greece, most of Magna Graecia did not side with either side in the Peloponnesian War. And yeah, lots going on here. Athens and Sparta were technically at peace at the time, so it could be like piracy. So it could even be like pirate mechanics sort of working its way in. Black Flag sequel in a way. So you could have an Odyssey sequel tie in with a Black Flag sequel. It could have a mercenary system. And yeah, he's sort of floating all these ideas of like a conflict that can happen. And he wants Ubisoft employees to read this pitch and turn it into a reality. How do you feel about this? To take two beloved games and run with it. You can even have Cassandra back as well. So, yeah, you've got elements from Black Flag, elements from Odyssey. What do you guys think? So, a lot to take in there.
Danny can take this one first.
I'm thinking about it. There's a lot going on in there. A lot going on. What do I think personally? I think if it was done right, it could be really, really cool. However, I feel like there would be a lot missing.
Yes, that's a good point.
With there being so much peace at that time, there's not really anything. Do you know what I mean? That good versus evil is not really there. So that would be like the core element of the game missing already. A Black Flag sequel that's gone from that is quite a stretch as well. It would be a sequel, but also a prequel, but also a completely different setting with a completely different character. That would they be related to the Kenways? Like, what is happening here?
My head.
There's so much going on. It's a lot. I don't really know. I don't know how to feel about that. I think in theory it could be really cool, but maybe honestly, it sounds like it could be a really cool game, but not an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, it's a good
Do you know what I
point.
mean? It
That is
could
a good
be a
point.
really cool RPG style game, just not, yeah, just not an AC one.
I think that's a valid response, to be fair, because where is the assassin's story in this? I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
Would it just be Cassandra roaming around collecting pieces of Eden to put in a little vault?
yeah.
I get it, but it's boring, really.
Mm,
Unless there's a new cult of Cosmos or a Roman version or however they want to play it, it'll all be in like around that area. So
mm,
interesting, but yeah,
yeah.
James, what do you think?
Uh, I don't think I love when we talk about I love how we talk about pitching AC games. We've done so many. I just don't know how this would work. Like we've said, where's the conflict? Where's the assassins? Where's the Templars?
Mm,
One of the main gripes about the RPG games is that there's nobody's using the word assassin and Templars, and that's the thing that ties it all together.
yeah.
So where would it be? What would they be doing? I don't know. While I do think that it would sell loads and it would do really well, I think it would do more to hurt the franchise than it would be to aid the franchise. But I do like the level of detail in which they've gone through. They've clearly researched the idea.
Mm.
They've looked into what would happen. So while I love the pitch, I don't necessarily think it would work either. But yeah,
Maybe it's like a mini game.
Yeah.
Like AC China and like those like smaller games.
or even a DLC maybe.
Or a DLC. I was thinking
Yeah,
or a DLC
that's a
for
good
Odyssey.
point.
It could
Like
potentially
Odyssey
work.
DLC. That's a good
Not
point.
as its own game. I don't think there's enough of a story to make it its own full game.
That's fair enough.
Plus, to go like through the time periods and through the countries and then go back to Greece
Yeah.
would be a bit of a weird move, because then people would start thinking, right, are we going to go revisit Italy? Are we going to go revisit Iraq? Are we revisit? Do you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
It would be a bit strange.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, James. I think this would sell a shit ton of copies. Like, people love Cassandra. She's an immortal goddess. She would be tearing it up on the edge of Greece, sort of going towards like the Roman settlements and stuff around the outskirts. Like, you could even get across to like Sicily and like in southern Rome, southern Italy and that area, and could be very beautiful, different architecture styles. But I totally agree with what you guys are saying. Would probably do some damage to the Assassin's Creed series, because there's no underlying Assassin's Creed core plot here. But an interesting setting, especially if you guys are interested in Cassandra and wanted a sequel for her, for sure. Like, who knows what she did in them thousands of years, shed all that time. But
so, as we're talking sequels, do you think that a sequel needs to have the same protagonist, or it can introduce a different protagonist but still be a sequel?
You go first, Danny.
So if the setting was the same, let's say we had another Greece game, for instance.
Okay.
But it was a completely different protagonist. Would you class that as a sequel, or would it be...
Oh, that's an interesting one. I feel like I'm in the middle. If it had the same protagonist, it would be more familiar.
Yeah.
But also, if it had a completely different protagonist, then it wouldn't hurt how the other game was for me, if that makes sense. It wouldn't ruin that first game for me to have, for example, a shit sequel with the same protagonist. If it had a completely different one. If it had a completely different one and maybe had like a cameo of the first protagonist, or like the first protagonist maybe is like, what, like a mentor, kind of like what Roshan was to Basim, for example. That could be cool. I don't know. Maybe different protagonist.
Yeah.
Different protagonist with a cameo. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
Option C.
Cole?
I'm a huge fan of Gladiator 2. I think it's a masterpiece, and it is the son. So I think that film works so well because he's in his father's shadow, and it's the weight of what came before. And I absolutely love that film. I know it's had mixed response. I loved it. I went to cinema to see it. Masterpiece. Same setting, same era. It's like a bit after Maximus, but wow. That answers your question. Just watch Gladiator 2. Clap from me. Incredible. Absolutely phenomenal. Assassin's Creed, if it could do anything like that, just fill the shoes of your father's legacy. Yeah, I think that answers it. Just watch Gladiator 2, guys. That's my answer to that film. Masterpiece.
Fair enough.
Okay.
What do you think, Jibs?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about my own question. So Nar said that it needs the same protagonist, or it's just passing on the strings to someone close to the former. But if that was the case, we've never had a sequel Assassin's Creed game other than the Ezio trilogy, because they're all different protagonists.
True.
So
but then when you think about it, even the Ezio game, Revelations more so than Brotherhood.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same Ezio, was it? He was older, he was wiser, he was a lot more jaded. He had it in his mind from the get-go that this was the last thing he wanted, and then he was retiring. Whether that meant he would end, he wouldn't be there anymore, or he would just quit. He didn't want to continue forever. So even then, it felt like you know what I mean? Like someone not other than himself.
So I think it doesn't necessarily need the same protagonist, but it does need the same feel and the same vibe as the game that it's being a sequel to. So if last week we spoke about the potential of a Origin sequel, if it would have to have the same vibe if it didn't have either Bayek or Aya as the main characters, it would have to have the same vibe and feeling of Origins for it to be considered as a sequel. And the reason I asked the question is because I see a lot, and it really bugs me, as I see a lot about the Kenway saga, because you've got the Ezio trilogy and then the Kenway saga, but it's not really the Kenway saga, even though Haytham appears in Rogue, but they class Rogue in this 3-game series, and I don't think it is in that type of way.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, it gives us a lot to think about. You guys let us know in the comments, how do you feel about this? And that brings us to the end, guys. So massive thank you two for joining me tonight. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, you can find loads of episodes for Riley the Creed now on Spotify and YouTube, and clips alongside TikTok, YouTube Shorts. We're really heavily promoting episodes and getting clips out every day now. We've had a wide range of guests throughout the AC community. We're trying to be a platform for everyone, and we've had great communications with people so far. We've had really interesting episodes, and hopefully going forward we're going to continue, and looking forward to what's to come in 2026. And one way you guys can support the show is by rating us on Spotify. You can get involved with comments on YouTube. We'll cover your take on things. You can get in touch with us with the contact page on the Ones That Came Before's website. It's in the top right hand corner. So next episode 29, we're still awaiting official confirmation from our guests, but we'll be once again discussing the ongoing situation at Ubisoft, and you can expect a bonus episode coming out in February as well, dropping around Valentine's Day. So lots to look forward to. Massive thank you to everyone listening tonight live with us. Also, the TikTok gifts, they massively help us support with the website costs. We really appreciate it. And of course, a massive thank you to our guest, Danny Hijabi, who you have been wonderful as a guest. Thank you so much. Where can people find you?
You can find me pretty much on all social media, but I mainly use Instagram and Twitch at Hijabi, so same as here, and on Twitter or X if you'd like as well. Hijabi across all socials.
Thanks for tuning in, Assassins, and we will see you in the next episode.